by to check out another video. And today I'm actually going to crack into a little Bourbon County on what is pretty much a cloudy, not much to do type Sunday here. Hopefully you guys are having a great Sunday out there as well. Turn down the volume a little bit in my headphones. But if you saw the unboxing that took place yesterday, I actually was out and about and came across one of the places, the party source, that actually had on draft the 2018 Bourbon County Brand Stout, and it is the Reserve Series barreled in Elijah Craig. So 15.2% ABV on this one here, and nice 32 ounce day to head into the Sunday evening with. And welcome, Hans. Nice to see you, Pimp. What's up, brother? As well as Erie. Hello. Cheers. Happy Sunday, Erie. Glad you can always swing by, of course. And looking forward to cracking this one open. Now, if you're not familiar with the history of Goose Island and Bourbon County, I'll get into a little bit of that here as well. But let's go ahead and get this out of the can and into the glass. Nice crisp pop there as the can is opened. Wow, already feeling the aroma coming out of the can. Nice sense of that bourbon barreling in place. Be careful, don't want to spill any of this, of course. And of course I'm going to use a snifter glass as well. Little drip running down the can. So there, nice dark stout as imagined. Hey, what's happening, Mitch? It's been a while. How you doing, brother? Cheers. So we came out nice, almost a finger of head, now about a half finger. A lot of times with higher ABV stouts, the heads may not hold as long. We're down to a quarter finger right now. Oh, but that nice aroma coming out. Getting a nice sense of the bourbon. You definitely pick up some of the booziness. Nice sweetness in there, reminiscent of a caramel type sweetness. Not all the way jet black. As I put it to the light, I get a little bit of a brownish tint at the bottom, but pretty much almost jet black. Head itself was a tan color when it came out. Almost has a feel of, in the nose, I'm getting kind of a molasses, but it has a nice oakiness to it. I'm picking up definitely some easy vanilla there. Has that nice dessert appeal to it as well, as far as the taste. For a 15.2 ounce ABV stout, that baby is really smooth. Nice feel of the flavors on the palate. You get a nice sense of the sweetness. You do get some of that oakiness in the taste. Goes down the back end real easy. A nice richness to this one here. Flavors are lingering around. I'm picking up a nice feel of the bourbon in play. Obviously, if you know whiskeys and you've had Elijah Craig, you probably do like that one. That is a popular bourbon, and this one has that coming through. Now in the taste, I'm getting a little bit more of a chocolate type feel. It's developing as it sits in the mouth. After you've already swallowed, there's a nice aftertaste and duration of the flavor. So 10-15 seconds later, you're still picking up a lot of those things coming through very nicely. This is it's a nice one, and this was the one that I mentioned on the video. If you didn't see it, 32 ounce crowler of it at Party Source for $22, which is really good, because even if you were to find a 2018 bottles of this right now, you're paying a nice premium on it, but to get 32 ounces at a $22 clip, very nice. And people like to knock Goose Island as well, obviously, because they're under AB and Bev, but it seems like they left the Bourbon County Stout line alone. Some people have said there's been changes with some of the other beers. I don't drink a lot of the other Goose Island stuff as much, Now, when I'm in Chicago, I like to get stuff up there on draft to some of the places. I haven't been to the Goose Island Brewery, but I get places around town. Obviously, with them being from Chicago, a lot of places have it on tap. You know, the Matilda, the Sophie, some of their other specialized type brews. Some of their stuff they put out into the market don't really stand out to me as much. The 312, the IPA, they're okay for what they are, but they don't really stand out. But when you get up in that Chicago area, you do find some other neat things they're actually doing. Mitch says he's been digging the bourbon stouts too. Yeah, and I still got to open up the Epic Brewing ones that I have. I have not got into those yet. I've been planning to get those open, but with this one being a crowler, I wanted to go ahead and get this one cracked. And I did find out yesterday, so I didn't pick up any for 2019, but when I went to my other spot, they actually do have the 2019 beers in that are going to be raffling, but they have not sent the email out yet. So I may go ahead and pick up some 2019 from them. They have a few cases there they got to actually get out. They've been waiting for their social media person to get stuff put together. So, you know, be on the lookout. I may actually pick those up from them. What do I think about stouts and bourbon beers, Hans? I like both. So I like the bourbon stouts that are being done. I mean, being in Kentucky, I am in a bourbon state. Of course, the bourbon state. So I have developed a fondness for bourbon whiskeys. But I do like that barreling that is done. However, some do over barrel. And I say that in a way that sometimes the bourbon can be overpowering to the stout. But for those that have really blended it nicely, or something like a Goose Island with their Bourbon County, they have a history of making sure on how to balance that out. It can be a nice, pleasant drink. Now, I've also taken some stouts. I'll put a shot of bourbon in first, and I'll put the stout in on top. That'll blend it in. So you can take that with a regular stout and kind of make your own bourbon barrel stout. Kind of making like a bourbon stout boilermaker, or so to speak. I don't know if I spelled bourbon right. LOL. That's all right. It's BOURBON. You're just missing one L, but it's all good. I know what you meant, son. And there you said bourbon. There it goes. LOL. Yeah, it does sound nice. There's not many bourbon counties, or any bourbon counties, I have not found to be pretty decent. Now, obviously, I was able to miss the ones that were infected, but for the most part, there's a lot of hype around them, but they do put out a good beer. So I guess in that case, you could say the hype is well deserved. The only thing I would run into with this one, and it's only because I have the 32-ounce can, that sweetness, how that'll actually play out over a period of time. Now, most of the time, you're getting a 16.9-ounce bottle of these. So I'm almost doubling it up here. I can see if you had this is something you would kind of want to share, because that sweetness may get to you. It's kind of like a fudge type brownie, like some of the other bourbon stouts are in a glass. So you do have that richness that can maybe hit you down the line, but right now it's going down smoothly. So we'll see what happens. Probably should have ate lunch before I actually got in this, but I'm so close. I'm in between lunch and dinner from earlier. We'll see what happens, but I may feel this in a little bit. Hey, what's happening, Gilbert? Cheers, my friend. Hans says, whiskey's the devil, LOL. Of course, Gilbert says, love me some whiskey. Yeah, Hans, it's definitely good, my friend. Definitely worth a try. Bourbons are always good. Yeah, so if you like bourbons and you like stouts, it's a nice combination for sure. What's up, Max? Fake T40. I'm gonna let that ride. BCBS, a great craft beer. Well, yeah, right. I mean, technically, is it still craft beer? It all depends if you follow the definition or not. By Brew Association definition, I guess it wouldn't be a craft beer, but then what do you do with it? It's still a well-crafted beer. So if you don't want to believe the Brew Association, you probably still call it a craft beer. That's small peas to anything. I mean, it's definitely a damn good beer, and that's what matters. But I mentioned the history of Bourbon County. So if you're not familiar with it, just kind of give you a little bit of a history part of it. So back in 1992, This was the first time they brewed this in celebration of the 100th batch of beer brewed at Goose Island. That at the time was just done at the brewery. Back in 1995, Bourbon County Brand Stout was entered into the Great American Beer Festival. It ended up being disqualified due to the beer not fitting into style guidelines of the any of the beer categories at the time. However, it was awarded an honorable mention. The Fulton Street Brewery opened at that time and began brewing for Goose Island to enjoy this outside of the pub. So 1995 is where it got outside the pub a little bit. 2004, trials of Bourbon County Brand Stout began at the Fulton Street Brewery. 2005, Bourbon County Brand Stout was packaged for the first time and released in Chicago. So 14 years ago is when it was packaged and released up there in the Windy City. And then 2009, Juliet, a Belgian-inspired wild ale with fresh Michigan blackberries, is released. It is the first new release to come out of the newly formed innovation team at Goose Island. Juliet features 100% secondary fermentation of wine casks with fresh fruit additions, and it was the first Bourbon County variant and was served at the Festival of Wood and Barrel Aged Beers in Chicago. So that was the first variant that was actually created by Goose Island under the Bourbon County brand. 2010, Goose Island expanded the barrel program to warehouse directly across the street from the Fulton Street Brewery. Barrels were filled in the brewery and transported across the street on forklifts. Man, that's these little forklifts taking the beer across the street. Bourbon County Brand Coffee Stout was released. It kicked off a collaboration partnership with, at the time, their next door neighbor, Intelligentsia Coffee. They used their Black Cat Espresso for the first Bourbon County Brand Coffee Stout, and each year they work with Intelligentsia to feature a new coffee bean. Bourbon County Brand Vanilla Stout was also released that year. That beer was aged in bourbon barrels with hand-scraped vanilla beans. Each year they develop new variants to highlight flavor profiles inherent of the original Bourbon County Brand Stout. They also had the rare Bourbon County Brand Stout, aged for 23 years old in Pappy Van Winkle barrels, and that was released on Black Friday, starting the tradition of lining up at Bourbon County that lives on today. So their first release was with Pappy Van Winkle barrels. That had to be damn tasty back then. And then Lolita, a Belgian-style wild ale with fresh Michigan raspberries, was also released. Madame Rose, a Belgian-style wild ale with fresh tart cherries, is also released at that time too. So all that stuff was happening. 2010. 2011, King Henry, an English-style barley wine, aged again in the 23-year-old Pappy Van Winkle barrels that aged a Bourbon County Stout Rare. You would think that it was named after King Henry of England, but it was actually named after John Hall's grandson, so not necessarily named after King Henry. In 2012, Goose Island expanded the barrel program to include an adjacent warehouse solely focused on alternative fermentation beers and wine casks with fresh fruit. So they're doing all this different stuff here at Bourbon County. 2013, Helia, a Belgian-style farmhouse ale with fresh whole peaches fermented and wine casks, was released. Jillian, the Belgian-style farmhouse ale with fresh strawberries, white peppercorn, and local honey fermented and wine casks, was released. And then Proprietary's Bourbon County Brand Stout, a special variant released only in Chicago to show our immense gratitude to our hometown friends, is released for the first time. This beer will feature a new recipe developed by Goose Island brewers each year. So that's when you got to be there in Chicago to really benefit. In the 2014 Goose Island Barrel House, Chicago's west side is opened. The Barrel House, over 130,000 square feet, was dedicated to the art of barrel aging and was designed and built to the specifications of our brewers. So that allowed them to open up to get the production they need to now put out the beers that everybody loves and enjoy that you actually receive. So you're able to actually get those at that time because of the build-up that took place. Interesting stuff there. Get back into the comments. And hey, what's happening, Alan? Cheers, my friends. Welcome. And then, hey, Paul, what's going on, brother? Cheers to you. It's been a while. Hope all has been well in PA. And Paul says he believes he can still pick up the 2018 vintage at one place in the mountains near me. Yeah, I was actually surprised they had this on tap there. They did limit the crowlers to one per person. Obviously, at $22 for a 32-ounce crowler, they probably would sell a lot more than they wanted to, in that they did want to make sure other people had a chance to actually try them. Obviously, I don't know what the rules are. Could you buy one, take it out of the store, come back in, buy another, take it out? I mean, some people probably did try that. Do you bring friends and have them buy more if you want more? But anyway, they want to try to get it into many people as possible, which is nice on their hand to do that, because a lot of people will try to come in and buy everything, and most of the time they're buying the stuff and then trying to resell it to other people. So this way, they want people to be able to enjoy it. Gilbert said, Collective Arts Bourbon Barrel Ales Imperial Porter, damn good stuff. Oh, see, I have to look for that, because we do get Collective Arts here now, especially like Jungle Gems, to see what they may have there on that. Let me see. If you ever get to Put in Bay, their Island Brewery has some killer beers, but especially their bourbon stout. Lower ABV, but the bourbon notes are spot on. I'm not a bourbon guy, and it kicks your ass. I'll have to keep an eye out for that one as well. I've got some friends that used to go up to Put in Bay and stuff. I've been up to that part of Northern Ohio. I don't know how close I've been to Put in Bay, but always looking to find some more beer. Hans says, Rajay, open a craft microbrewery in your town. You'll be successful. Oh, thanks, my friend. I kind of like it from this aspect of it, kind of just going out and enjoying and telling the stories and all kind of stuff and that part of it. But I do have some friends that are looking at stuff, and I'm not going to say anything for sure, but it has been mentioned about doing some different things with some different breweries. We'll see how things play out down the line. I mean, that's all stuff there in the future, possibly. But the thing is, if you get locked into one craft brewery, you're kind of locked into that craft brewery. And I like being able to be sort of a free agent, get out to experiment and try different things and not have to be dedicated. I have a buddy here who actually used to run his website. He ended up getting on with one of the breweries, had to pretty much stop doing what he liked to do in the blogging part, which is fine because he loves working for the brewery he's at. But you're not able to get out there and experience all the other stuff and tell people about it. He can go out and enjoy them. He just can't really blog and stuff about them because they're competitors at this point. Lumpy Dog had and welcome Lumpy Dog, by the way, my friend, had a dirty dank juice IPA by Oddside with dinner. Just don't like IPAs. Love the brewer. Just like this beer. Back to porters and stouts for me. I need to do some more videos on Oddside ales because we do get those now. And I've heard a lot of good things about Oddside. I've seen them on the shelves here, but we have so many beers on the shelf. I have not had that one. I've heard about Dirty Dank, and I heard other people that do like it. But if IPA isn't your thing, then no matter what it might be around it, it's not going to be something you're going to probably be involved in, right? That you're going to really enjoy. So, some people try to force different styles on them to try to see if they can pick them up. And I say go with what you like. If you like certain styles, don't feel the need to have to try stuff. Although I say it's fun to try different things. Try to get out of the box. I mean, I'm not, as many of you know, I'm not a big shandy person, but I will try different shandies at points. Some are more tolerable than others, although I'm not a huge shandy person. I will try that. I'm not a huge adjunct lager person, but I will try some at times just to kind of see. And there's some that are decent out there and that play out more. So sometimes it's finding the one that actually fits. And to give you an example, I have a good friend, and she was never a big fan of IPAs. She pretty much hates IPAs until she had the Bell's Two Hearted. That became one of her favorite beers. For whatever reason, she really likes the Bell's Two Hearted IPA, but can't stand just about any other IPA. So sometimes it's just finding that thing that actually bonds and gels with you. And then Craig says, cheers to Paul. And Hans said, microbreweries are always successful. Well, but the issue is the money. Well, I mean, there's some that aren't. To a point, you got to have the right setup to be successful with the microbrewery. And when I say that, I mean, a lot of the microbreweries that come out, one, they're former home breweries. And home brewers have to have enough of a support system of people that have really enjoyed their beers to kind of give them that initial jump. Because you need to have people that come to the brewery to enjoy it. You also have to be in an area where you can develop around it. For instance, we had a brewery here that really put out good beers, but they were kind of an offbeat place. So where they were actually located at wasn't like in a community where it had a lot of people that were able to walk up or say, hey, let's go hang out at the brewery. It was kind of like in a little bit of a warehouse type area. And at a point, because so many microbreweries had communities around them, people weren't coming out to see them, and it ended up they had to close their doors. So you also have to have that right support structure around you. And yeah, the double Two-Hearted Ale, Hans, an excellent beer. Again, this year came out number 1, I believe, voted as the top beer the last 2 or 3 years running. People really enjoy the Two-Hearted Ale, and Bell's does a great job with it. The double Two-Hearted, I really enjoyed that this year. Some people said, well, they didn't like it as much because it wasn't as IPA-ish in their mind to the bitter. It was more malty. But the thing is, a double IPA is usually going to be, or should be, more maltier because they're actually increasing malts to give it that higher ABV kick. So if you know that style, you know it's not going to be possibly as bitter as what you had on the lower version, because you're taking some of that off because of the extra malts that are being put in. Mitch, yeah, agree. Shandy wine cooler in a beer can. Yeah, I would say that's kind of the feel that you kind of get out of that. You do have the Shandy, and you do have the Rattler. The Rattler's a little bit different. Like, I enjoy Rattlers more than I do Shandies, but when you think of Shandies, a thing that pops in my head can be like Bartles and James, for instance. It does remind me of some of the old wine coolers. It can have a refreshing feel at a time, but they're overly sweet on some of the ones that I don't really like as much. And for instance, the Leinenkugel Summer Shandy, I feel like it's just overly sweet. And by the time you're drinking it and you're letting it sit there, when that starts to warm up a little bit, if you're not like trying to guzzle it, it becomes just like syrup in a glass. And so it's kind of like, that's the only one, like I said before, that I've had drain poured at a bar. I wanted the glass, but to get the glass, you had to get the Shandy. I even offered to put a different beer in or just buy the glass outright. They're like, oh, we have to put Shandy in it for their contractual obligation or whatever it may be. And I got about a third through, and I said, okay, pour it out. I can't finish this. This is just not my thing. And I ordered another beer, kept the glass, which I have on the shelf behind me. So, Hans, correct. The right location and passion, all that comes together. You got to be able to get through that, because it's not easy, being a microbrewery, especially now as we're in between 7,500 to 8,000 breweries out there. You also have the competition of some of the producers of these seltzers and stuff like that. And of course, depending on what you're reading or what you're seeing, some people are maybe gravitating more to spirits or to wines. So you have all these different things that are taking place. So you have to make sure you run enough of a report to see where you're going to actually be at. Make sure you can sustain that brewery. If you had the money, I would definitely do it. That'd be awesome. If I had the money, if I had the money, because I always say, possibly one day, my wife's even asked me about it, I wouldn't mind like owning a bar. Would I own a brewery? Maybe, but if I owned a bar, it'd be a little bit different. I can kind of do things I want. I can pretty much just take with the stuff that I like that people are producing and bring that into the bar. It wouldn't have to deal with the creation of the beer. So who knows? Maybe down the line, I would be more inclined to own a bar, I think, than to own a brewery. But I would definitely, if a brewery came along and said, hey, we want you to work with us and stuff, I would look at it. I'd consider it for sure. Ashley Sexton in the house. What's going on, Ashley? Cheers, my friend. He is drinking a rye barrel-aged Scotch ale gifted to me from our friend Jamie. Oh, nice. Jamie got you that. Awesome. Who did the rye barrel Scotch ale you're drinking? And let me do this real quick, too, because you guys are seeing names pop up here, so make sure you're checking out some of the channels here as well. Ashley Sexton, he does some great beer stuff on his channel. He also does some home brewing. So you guys that are into home brewing, I would definitely check out Ashley. He puts some stuff out there. He takes you through the recipe process. He lets you know what's going on. A great channel for people that want to learn more about brewing. Definitely make sure you hit those 3 dots by Ashley's name. Check out his channel. Go there and subscribe as well. Paul from PA Brew News, another great beer reviewer. There's a lot of different things there. Covers a lot of different beers. Gives a really good breakdown on the beers he's actually looking at. He also at times will do things like painting videos. Great artistic ability there on what he paints. So you really get to enjoy a lot of the stuff that he actually does as well. Check out his channel. Check out Craig from Kent Beer Reviews, my buddy here across in the UK. Another one that really has a great breakdown of the beers that he actually covers. Really gets into some of the nuts and bolts of the beer. Always an entertaining video. He has some different live streams that he'll do as well. So make sure you hit those buttons next to Kent Beer Reviews. Check him out. Also subscribe there. And then check out also, I got Alan here from the Eclectic Beard. Alan used to do more of the beer reviews. He's kind of changed up his channel some, but I tell you what, if you're wondering, if you're a truck guy or whatever, you're wondering about trucks or you're wondering about the new Tesla Cybertruck, Alan has some great videos breaking down that Cybertruck, breaking down other trucks. He does some great reaction videos on some of the music and things along those lines. So make sure you check out the Eclectic Beard as well. Hit those 3 dots next to his name there, and you'll be pleased on some of the stuff you'll see there on his channel too. So, and then if I miss anybody, let me know. Vanessa Kitty, you can also check out Vanessa Kitty, who does, I think Vanessa, you do more maybe on Instagram than actually YouTube, but I know you have the YouTube channel. You can hit those things next to her. She's like a jack of all trades. She does all these different things. Right now she's making leather cup holders, which are freaking awesome, and you can see that on her Instagram channel as well. But make sure you check her out too. And then Lumpy Dog, make sure you check him out. Does a lot of good things there. Also talking about some of the beer. He's actually going to go work on the aquariums. He does fish stuff too. So if you like fish or anything like that, make sure you check out Lumpy Dog. And thank you for being here, my friend. I will try to keep smiling, and cheers to you. And hopefully you have a great Sunday night tonight as well. Let me see who else is here. Make sure I get everybody. Don't miss anybody. And I think I got everybody so far. So if not, I will get you in here. Hans says sometimes the beer tastes better warm. So when tasting beer, make sure you're knowing the style that you're actually tasting, right? So different styles at different temperatures. If you're enjoying something like a stout, 50 to 55, usually the temperature you kind of want to have it at. But yeah, as it warms, a good craft beer like this will actually open up more flavors, bring out more of the aromas. So unlike your adjunct type lager, where you want to drink those ice cold, there's different temperatures for different styles. And with this type of style, it does get better as it warms. And Vanessa says she was driving north right now. Vanessa's always on the road, running her brother back and forth, I believe, and makes some great eggnog from what she tells me there. Got the goose eggnog with the pirate rum, I believe. And Lumpy Dog said, I already had them going to the aquariums. Hans says a brewery is better, more attraction. Yeah, so you can have a brewery for gathering, but here's the thing. There's beer stores that we have here, and obviously it depends on your state laws and where you're at, that they actually sell beer, but they have taps. And so you can have the taps there from different breweries. They have the tables and the chairs and a gathering space, and people will come to the store and they'll drink beers there. They'll buy beer to take home. So by having a beer store, you can have the best of both worlds, actually. And even though you're not having a brewery, you don't have to worry about it, but you're having other breweries bring their beers in that you're able to actually sell. So a beer store does give you that option. Ashley said, why not own a bottle shop? That would be awesome. And that's what we would basically, it's like a beer store would actually be for us here. So you would have that, and that would be a great option to actually do that, like I just said earlier. Rum nog tonight after driving. There you go. So Vanessa will have the rum nog tonight with the pirate rum, I believe, right? The pirate rum. She says no idea where the barrel is from. Han says, I like Vanessa. I think everybody likes Vanessa. Vanessa does so many cool things. It's just amazing, all the different stuff she does. So she is awesome. And Ashley says, how my wife is drinking that now. She's drinking a little eggnog. Hans says, hi, future girlfriend. Well, Vanessa is married, Hans, so I think you may have an issue there. But Vanessa wins everyone over. Craig said, cheers to Ashley. Ashley, hey, No problem, brother. I'm always happy to give you guys a shout out. You guys deserve it. You guys make it fun for me to do stuff too. So I always want to share and appreciate you guys for what you're doing. You're welcome, Craig, as well. I mean, keep doing what you're doing. And Craig, I haven't forgotten. Stuff has been like a little bit crazy, but we're going to do the beer spotlight on your channel here. You're the next one up. We just got to coordinate it now to actually get that done. Vanessa, yes, Instagram, no public videos yet. So if you go to Vanessa Kitty on Instagram, you'll see a good amount of stuff there that she's actually doing. You should be, I think you're done with the fire pit now as well. So I think you were telling me there's another project. I can't remember offhand what it was that you were going to be moving on to, but you've always got so many good things going. I'm looking forward to you putting those the cup holders for the beers. Thanks, buddy. Much appreciate you, Alan. Always appreciate you, my friend. And Alan, the Eclectic Beer. So, I'm on that comment right now. If you are a college football fan, make sure you check out the Eclectic Beer if you subscribe. Tuesdays, 9 o'clock Eastern. That's when I'm actually over there with him and a few others that we talk college sports. We got Blake TV. We got Bottom BD. I call him BDO, but Bottom Dollar Outdoors. We got the Whiskey Scout, and we all talk college sports. We got Jeremy Vincent in there too. So make sure you check that out if you're a sports fan. Also, he's got other things happening. I think tonight, unless I'm wrong, Alan, you're doing the 9 o'clock show on your channel. I can't remember if you're doing it on yours or Blake. Usually I don't make it Sunday nights because it's either The Walking Dead or now it's Watchmen that I'm usually watching. But if you want to put that in the comments, feel free for what you got going on tonight. And then he also is on Blake's channel at 1 o'clock, I believe, on Tuesdays, where they do the B&A show. So some great stuff, great entertainment, great value there as well. The stout is delicious, Vanessa. It is delicious. You get the booziness and the taste. Again, it's like 15.2 ABV, so you do feel it a little bit, but it is very smooth out. Carbonation is nice and not overly done. It's not really that much you have to worry about there. It just kind of slides down the throat. It has a velvety feel, and the texture is just so smooth. Making duck eggs, pirate rum, and A's rum. Nice. And then Hans agreed, Vanessa is the jack of all trades. So there's not anything pretty much that Vanessa can't do. Eggs need a stout in bourbon barrels. Eggnog. Well, you can use that there. In the if you can get some A's stout, you can want to put that into it. Be interesting. Hans said taps is better, and if it's made by you, plus when it's not available at stores. Yeah. Because then if you have something where it's not available at stores and it draws people in, then people will come to your spot because they know they have to come there to actually get it. Hey, what's happening, Terry? Cheers, my friend. Always welcome. Always great to have you here. And if you guys haven't been to Terry's Quick Beer Reviews, another great channel over in the UK, make sure you check out Terry's channel. He always has a nice, entertaining video for a beer that he's checking out. Nice, clear, and concise, and hits all the ins and outs really easy. Always a nice, fun one to enjoy. So make sure you check out Terry's Quick Beer Reviews, which I need to catch up on Terry's videos as well. But Terry, I think with your channel, going back a few years, the first time we connected, but always an entertaining type feel, and always doing a great job. Alan says, I love to own a bottle store. I've got to travel 30 to 45 minutes for decent beer. Yeah, a bottle store would be awesome, and maybe it's an opportunity down the line. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might be in a spot if you have other people there in your area that kind of like to seek that stuff. That's the thing, finding out if other people in your area are big fans of craft beer as well, because that's where the opportunity lies. Vanessa, we were talking about Hans studying a new girlfriend, possibly with Vanessa. She says, I teach math too, just to scare you, LOL. But she said, yes, married. And Hans said, I know I realized that about Vanessa, I should stay back, LOL. Yes, patio bricks in spring around fire pit. So the fire pit is becoming done there for Vanessa. And you can see images of the fire pit there on Instagram as well, but definitely looking pretty sweet. Plan on sending me some can holders. I mean, if you want to send me some can holders, I'd be happy to check them out and share them with everybody so everybody can come back and get some from you as well. From what I've seen there, you said you pretty much got it perfected there on the Instagram stuff. So hopefully, you're close to actually completing those. I don't know if you came up with your logo yet, because I think that was the other thing, to make sure you get a logo on there as well. And then, I'd be more than happy. I'd be honored to check out your can holders. Wood fire oven for brick by in April, I hope. Yeah. It'd be nice to have a wood fire oven. I think of all the places I go where they have the pizzas and they get them in from Italy, the wood fire ovens. You really get some nice pizzas out of those places. Really good food, and it's just interesting. Like, you don't need to have the high-end technology when you build something that's structurally sound. Puts out some really good food. Alan said tonight might be the last Sunday fun day, going through some growing pains. Come on, man. Well, you got a lot of stuff on your plate. I mean, you've had some great success with it, so whatever you got to do there to make sure it works out for you, I definitely understand. But it is on your channel tonight, so I'm thinking 9 o'clock Eastern, unless I'm wrong there. But Sunday Fun Day is always a good thing. And then Hans says, nice at Vanessa. And Vanessa said, I ran out of Guinness for an extra stout. Are you going to get more? And if you never had the Guinness for an extra stout, I don't know what to tell you, because that's probably the best Guinness stout that they actually have, in my opinion. It's something that we've now have in our market. For a while with the Guinness for an extra stout, you can only get it in the Caribbean, parts of Asia, and parts of Africa. But now we've gotten it more, not just through the sample packs, they started to actually market it more in here in the US. Maybe because they put the brewery in Maryland. But it is a fine stout. I would definitely recommend checking out the Guinness for an extra stout. And big cheers to Brandon Craft Beer Pours. What's going on, brother? Glad to have you on. And another great channel to check out if you want to find out more about beers and things along those lines. And then he'll be back live streaming here next month here in January. Make sure you check out Craft Beer Pours. And check out his wife also, Keep Sipping, that she also does some of the beer stuff as well as wine. So for all of you that like wine Wednesday, we Keep Sipping is out there too. But a great channel, great fun out of the Boston area, so they keep you up to speed on some of the beers around them as well. Always enjoy checking in with those guys. And he says hello to Alan as well. And then Craig says hello to Terry and Craft Beer Pours. And Craft Beer Pours back to Craig. And Vanessa said, I need to visit oldest brother in Fort Worth. If you go to Fort Worth, one of the breweries I went to the last time I was down there, I think it was Three Nations. On the channel, I did a visit from the brewery, but they actually had some pretty cool beers down there. But Fort Worth has some stuff happening down there right outside Dallas. Actually, that's where my mother-in-law is, in Fort Worth. So I may get back down there again myself at some point. It'd be kind of funny, Vanessa, if you were able to go down at the same time I was able to go down, we could actually meet and grab something to drink there as well. Vanessa, self-supported archways, inverted canary curves. Think hanging cable between two telephone poles. See, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. I don't even know all the stuff you're doing there. But I know it's going to be phenomenal by the time it's done. Alan said I might wind up doing Hangouts through a different channel, but it doesn't really go with the direction the channel is going. Interesting. But you know what? If you're looking at another channel, Alan, that you might want to check out, Zoom, ZOOM. They actually can stream into YouTube as well. And in fact, this upcoming Friday, that's where I'm going to be with Daddy Porter's group to talk about the Trogs Mad Alpha, as we do some winter beers and how they compare to Trogs. And he uses Zoom on his. I've actually got it myself. I haven't looked at using it yet, but it seems like that might be an alternative too, especially if you're using StreamYard and you're limited to the 20 hours that they now provide on the basic service, which, for anybody that wants to know, if you're using StreamYard and you want to know how many hours you're at from the month, go to your StreamYard account and just go under billing, and inside the billing area, it tells you where you're at on your plan for the month. Vanessa, yes, must get Guinness for an extra stout at base before New Year's. Yeah. How often do they get the Guinness for an extra stout? Is that like a popular beer they're constantly getting in, or does it just pop up periodically? And yes, Sunday Fun Day for anyone that wants to watch tonight, 9 o'clock Eastern. So 9 o'clock Eastern, Sunday Fun Day on the Eclectic Beers channel. I probably will jump over after Watchmen, if you guys are still going, and see what's happening there. And then Terry says hello back to Craig. It's great having the UK guys in, because you guys are what, like 10:30 right now? Which 10:30 isn't fully late or not, but it's a Sunday night. You know, it's a school night. Everybody goes back to work tomorrow, unless you got a vacation planned. Yeah, visit Miami so we can hang out. I would love to get back to Miami at some point, and that might be something. You know what, take a look there, but Miami's always a fun time. Last time in Miami, I wasn't doing the beer thing, so I'd be interested to find out some of the Miami beer scene, but getting down there off of A1A, out on South Beach, downtown Miami, some of the fun spots to hit. Yeah, I'd be definitely down on joining that. Vanessa said, I lived in Fort Worth before I moved back here for my master's degree. Miami is fun. Met my husband in Fort Lauderdale. Well, there you go. Did you meet your husband at the Elephant Bar in Fort Lauderdale? And anybody knows Fort Lauderdale knows the Elephant Bar, because that's been open for I don't even know how long, but I think they're like one of the bars that's open 24 hours there in Fort Lauderdale. If they get it often, I can just order it as well. A pallet worth would be nice. A pallet of Guinness for an extra stout. That could work. That could work. Fort Lauderdale, yeah, there's great people. Yeah, Fort Lauderdale's a fun time. When I was back in college, we always say like we were like one of the last few classes to actually celebrate spring break in Fort Lauderdale before they made all the changes. So Fort Lauderdale, they made changes to the spring breakers when they would come down. You know, it became more of an older community, and they were putting all these different laws in, but we went in 87, I believe, and that was like the peak time where it was like Luke and the 2 Live crew and all kinds of club stuff and blah, blah, blah. And it was just crazy fun. Don't fly American Airlines to Miami. Bruh, I ain't flying American Airlines anywhere. Do not recommend American Airlines. Although most places you do, because that's their hub. But yeah, I'll fly Delta to get down there. I mean, I'll pay the extra dollars if I need to. That's like we just had a trip. We went to Dallas. We could have went cheaper with American Airlines because that's their hub. We flew Delta to pay the extra money because it just wasn't worth dealing with American Airlines. You can't depend on them. You can't trust them. Especially they're canceling flights and they blame it on their union workers and all that stuff. Just some shadiness with American Airlines. LOL, my oldest brother lived on islands just off Fort Lauderdale for a time. My Cuban cigars connection is in Fort Lauderdale. Oh, see, we need to talk. You got a Cuban cigar connection. We need to talk. I did have a couple Cuban cigars when I went to Jamaica earlier this year, which were nice. Because obviously they can get cigars from Cuba. That whole thing now, I mean, why are people still mad about that anyway? That was like years ago. Like, we should be able to get cigars from Cuba. Fly space available in military, much more fun and intrigue. Yeah. Well, military, yeah. And it's like, the Cuban cigars are a solid cigar. I've had cigars from the Dominican Republic as well. And then I've gotten cigars from some of the cigar shops that I've gotten from other areas. I think Honduras might have had a cigar from there and some other spots, but once in a while, a nice cigar is nice. Han says, I know the connection. Hans, are you the connection, maybe? Hey, cheers, cutie. Welcome. And the cigars are available now. Yeah, we have a few cigar bars around the city here, a few cigar spots that you can get some nice cigars with the embargo. I don't know. It's kind of relaxing when you have a nice cigar. Of course you do, Vanessa. Of course you roll cigars as well. I don't even know what to do. Like, there's nothing like Vanessa's not doing, right? Like, she learned it at 14, she says. You're probably growing in tobacco as well, Vanessa. Vanessa's awesome. It's like everything is like, I tell you, if it gets like The Walking Dead and things go bad, I'm going up northeast and I'm hanging out with Vanessa, and she's in charge of anything that we need to do because she knows everything. It's just like, she says, go cut down that tree. No questions asked. I'm cutting down a tree. Cigars and stouts. Yum. Yeah. Yeah, this would be a nice one to have if I had a cigar, to be sitting outside and kind of relaxing back, or like at a fire pit like Vanessa made. It'd be a nice one to sit around and actually enjoy the cigar. Although today I was outside earlier and I think we're like in the mid 50s or low 50s maybe. It didn't feel cool at all. I actually found out one of the trees we had in the backyard, I don't know if it had been hit by lightning or if it just died or whatever, but it was like cracked all the way down to the stump. So I had to go out and saw that down and then remove it earlier today. Working shade tobacco. Of course, I make a joke about her doing tobacco, and then she says working shade tobacco here growing up in Connecticut Valley. So, of course, Vanessa would know how to grow tobacco. Of course. Says Vanessa is Cuban, LOL. She may be that as well, too. Just don't know anymore. I just don't know. I will have to invite to the fire pit swing set. Yeah, that would be awesome. I need to get back up to the upper Northeast. I'm going to try to get back, or I'm supposed to get back next year to New Jersey for my mom's like 75th birthday or whatever, and then I'm going to try to catch up with some of the guys there, like Alex the Beer Master, and one of my buddies, he runs a brewery in New Jersey, so we're going to catch up there, and he's been wanting to get me back there for a couple years to check out what he's doing. And then hopefully catch up with some of the guys, like Collected Beer. We're talking about trying to get together when I'm back on that side of the country here, and maybe Joe from the Beer Patrol and some of the other guys Northeast, and Kyle from No Hype Beer Reviews, and Matt from Massive Beers. I'd love to catch up with them while I'm up there, but I would love to get up to the Northeast. If I get to the Northeast, and I'd like to try to maybe catch up with Brandon and Trish too, of their craft beer pours and keep sipping. But a lot of fun times growing up on the East Coast. Tobacco, some nasty stuff to work with. I can imagine. That's definitely nasty stuff to spit out when you chew. So, which I haven't chewed since. Well, I chewed when I was in college, and I told you that the other day, Alan. We were talking, but I guess I probably stopped chewing around 94 or 95. I guess. I worked with my brother digging graves growing up. We dug them by shovel and wheelbarrow then. Vanessa, you've done more in your life than a lot of people ever even thought about doing. Says Vanessa's seen everything, love her. Yeah, she's done like everything possible pretty much. Brother's nickname was Digger in high school. Out there digging the graves. Ashley said, just cracked a Madeira Brown Ale from Cigar City. And Ashley, I'd be curious what you think about that one. I haven't tried it yet. I've had some people ask me to check out the Madeira Brown Ale. I just haven't picked it up yet. But let me know what you think about that one there. The amount of that and nicotine I was exposed to working. Yeah, well, I mean, you were exposed to a lot of stuff, that you've been done over your life. Alan says, I feel attacked. Why do you feel attacked? I don't think I want to piss her off. No, Vanessa's not one you would ever want to piss off. I can tell you that too. I mean, with her being military, I'm pretty sure she could probably get back to you in different ways as well. But Vanessa's cool, so I don't think you pissed her off in any way. No, sure. Back to driving. Thank you. Hey, thank you, Vanessa. Always love when you swing by. Be careful out there. Look forward to catching up with you. And yeah, let me know when the cup holder thing. You piss her off. It's okay. LOL. Said. All of a sudden, Alan shows up missing. You know what I was wondering when I was drinking this Bourbon County, if I would get more of a coffee feel. So, but I'm really not getting a coffee feel. I mean, it's more chocolate. It's more of a dessert type beer. I mean, you already know Elijah Craig is a smooth bourbon anyway, but it's almost like a fudge brownie in a glass. It's just so freaking good. And yes, I may feel a buzz coming in a little bit here. Yeah, it's funny because I was going to make for dinner, I was going to actually make some cheesesteak sandwiches. So I'm going to go fry those up here in a bit, but yeah, I might have a little buzz doing that. Her profile is a gun, but yeah, you made the tobacco comment with you, and I hate doing it, but I feel I can't stop, unfortunately, sometimes. Oh, it's all good. Ashley said, with the Madeira Brown, it's got some bold coffee and dark caramel notes, head faded crazy fast, with a soda-like carbonation, drinks really light, with a burnt sugar finish. That's a nice breakdown on that one, Ashley, for sure. So that's why you guys should be checking out Ashley Sexton. He just breaks it down so nice on that one. What's the ABV on that one, Ashley, as well? If it does show the ABV. Hey, what's happening, Ron? Just got out of Deer Woods, gonna pound me some buzz. There you go. Did you bag a deer today? Were you able to get one? I've never been hunting before, but I wouldn't be opposed to it. I do like deer meat for sure. I need to catch up with Drunken One. Drunken One sent deer jerky a few years ago. It was pretty solid. 5.5, okay. It's kind of weird that the head faded so quickly on that for a 5.5. It has to show that in Canada. Oh, so Canada has a law that you have to show ABV. Well, we don't have it in America on some stuff. It's not even listed on some cans, so, or bottles. It's kind of surprising. It should be a law on everywhere to show the ABV. I mean, if people are drinking them, you don't want people like, oh, I'm gonna get this, and all of a sudden it's a barley wine. They're getting lit up, you know. Oh, that's kind of interesting. I'm actually on my TV set. I was looking over here because I've got American Pickers on, which I actually like American Pickers. Some of the cool stuff they find. They're actually showing a Maker's Mark commercial. I've never seen a Maker's Mark commercial on TV before, so that's kind of interesting. And I do like Maker's Mark. Yeah, it's crazy, and there aren't any adjuncts according to the ingredient list. Yeah. Not today. 5 out of 7 in camp. Well, still good to get out. Unfortunately, if it was every day, then you wouldn't have much fun because you bag one good sized deer. It can last you like a few months, right? From all the stuff that you get out of it. Vanessa, yes, my icon is a Kunin 357 semi-auto. Let that be a reminder to you folks. And then Vanessa says she goes spring turkey hunting. We actually have a few wild turkeys here around Kentucky. I mean, you'll be driving one day and you'll see them off the side of the road, just some wild turkeys out of nowhere. How does Maker Marks taste? It's pretty smooth. It's a nice bourbon. I'm not a bourbon aficionado, but I mean, I think it's a good a good bourbon. I think some of the guys depend on how much bourbon they may have had. Like if Whiskey Scott was here, or if Swami was here from Malton and Montreal, they'd be able to give more of a bearing on it. I don't know if it'd be like a mid-size type or mid-level type bourbon or not, but I think it's pretty decent. They actually have a nice little spot down in Louisville where you can go down there and do some stuff with makers, and it's a restaurant and you can taste different things, and it's pretty solid. A lot of people like makers here in Kentucky, obviously where they're from. So, but I'm like 5 minutes from Boone County Distillery. There's a Boone County whiskey here. Yeah, makers is good. I don't do enough getting out to some of the whiskey spots. I should probably do that at some point, just because people talk about they come up to here and they do the Bourbon County tours and the trail, and I don't really do it. It's like right there in my backyard. It's kind of like when I lived in New Jersey. It's like I didn't go to New York as much because it was so easy to go there. And then when you move away, you're like, I should have went to New York more. I should do that. I should take advantage of where I'm at and get out on some of the bourbon visits and to share some of that with you guys. Like the fox hunt long-legged blondes. I hear you, Ron. Alice said Makers is his go-to. So I found Makers Mark 46. I think I may get that instead of beer this coming week. Well, there you go. I never heard anybody going wrong with Maker's Mark. At some point, I wouldn't mind trying some Pappies. I just got to get it at some point if I can find it. It goes really quick here, obviously. We once had our Kroger here in Kentucky. They have liquor stores as well. And they mistakenly one time put out like Pappies at like $40-something a bottle. One of my friends was telling me. He ended up walking in there, saw it was $40-something. He called his buddy, told him, and they bought like the last 5 of them. Like, that was a steal for Pappies. I still need to order a proper whiskey glass, because everywhere I usually go, it's like pretty much on the rocks and stuff. But if I'm going to do some tastings, I'm debating on doing tastings on the channel. I just feel like I don't know if I know enough about whiskey to do that. Some people had asked me to try some whiskeys and do that, and also some wine as well. Which wine I feel more comfortable than whiskey. I don't know if that'd be interest of people to kind of see some wine type videos, but I would like to maybe look to incorporate that at some point. I feel like this channel right now is so more dedicated to just beer though, so this is really freaking good, I tell you that. Try Four Roses. Four Roses is another one that's really popular here as well. Yeah. I do need to try that. So many different bourbons that we actually have here. It's crazy. We actually, if you're ever in the Cincinnati area, Northern Kentucky, and Newport, right across from Cincinnati, has the largest bourbon bar in the world. And by that, I mean it has the most bourbons under one roof. So it's in Newport, and you can actually try any type of bourbon from around the world, pretty much. A great spot. So if you're ever in Cincinnati, keep that in mind if you like bourbon. Proper whiskey glass, I thought that was called a bottle. Well, I have the rocks glasses, but it's like the Glenfinch or whatever type glass you do for the whiskey. That if you're doing a tasting, as like it was explained to me earlier in one of the comments on the video, if you're doing a tasting, like the Glen one, you would do for that. But if you're just sipping it in a rocks glass, it's fine. Which I have rocks glasses. I just don't have the Glen glass where you would use it for a tasting, because it's actually cut differently to bring the aromas and stuff out. So back in the day, a couple years ago, we used to have a debate here about, some people was like, if Jack Daniels was actually bourbon or not. And really, in Kentucky and where we're at here, Jack Daniels is not considered bourbon whiskey. It's considered Tennessee whiskey, and it gets into the filtering of the charcoal process. But on a federal level, they recognize it as a bourbon because they have nowhere to place it because Tennessee whiskey isn't a recognized category. So that's always interesting. I do like some Jack. So I tell people Jack and Jim has always been all right by me. So I can enjoy both of those at any time. But we have different variations of the Jack, which is pretty cool too. So to try different things. For the longest time with Jim, I used to be a big fan of the Devil's Cut. In fact, one of the bars I used to frequent, they would order bottles of Devil's Cut in just because of my appreciation for it when I came to the bar. It was just like, as soon as I walk in, they would pour Devil's Cut because they knew I was going to enjoy some Devil's Cut when I was there. I feel like I should have a higher whiskey game now since I'm in Kentucky and it's a whiskey state, but I do love the beer. The beer comes through nicely. And at this point, the growler is empty. Oh boy. Watchmen is going to be interesting tonight if I have this and a few more beers. You know, as a Bourbon County, you try to get everything out of us. I'm trying to get every drip out of the can here. You ought to take your brand worldwide. I've got 4 other channels beneath mine. One's going to be music, one for gaming, one for drinking, one for movies, and then the EV, something like that. Yeah, so I see what you're saying there, and I do agree. So I've got the other channel, which is Rod J Media. If you haven't seen Rod J Media, that's where I'm going to be launching other stuff. That's where I do the gaming, and I'm going to actually at some point here start putting videos out on that channel about different things, kind of reaction type stuff away from maybe the beer channel. I may put some other things out there, music and stuff like you're kind of doing, Alan, but it's kind of like I want to get everything done on the beer channel first because right now I need to get to 4,000 watch hours. So that's one of the driving factors why I'm doing more of the live streams now, to try to get the watch hours up because the subscribers are already there. And then I want to also put some stuff out on the other channel. But I actually enjoyed the live. Like I said, I enjoyed the live streams because for me, it's like when I used to be in a radio DJing back in the day, I like the live feel. I like the spontaneity of being live and just enjoying it along those lines. So I like that. Hopefully you guys are entertained, but I like the entertainment possibilities with it. Got to go for now, everyone. Have a great night. Yeah, you too, Ashley. Cheers, brother. Thanks for swinging by. And again, make sure you guys check out Ashley Sexton, especially if you guys like to find out more about home brewing. Ashley does a great job on his channel, so make sure you check him out. All going to be under the Eclectic Beer banner for me. Yeah, so you have all the Eclectic Beer. You're going to have that with your logo on all the other channels, but you're going to basically break it out for what each of them are going to be doing, which is a great idea. So the one thing I have right now, I mean, the Rod J name is going to be kind of the branding, I guess you can say. So the Rod J Media is a different logo than what it is for the Rod J BeerVentures. But if I do some other stuff under Rod J, it'll always be the Rod J type branding as well. But it's always interesting working with YouTube because with YouTube, you have the various niches that you're trying to work, and you try to customize to those niches along those lines. Because some people like to come to the beer channel just for the beer stuff. I mean, I was doing the beer and the gaming on here for a while, and some people did like it, but you want to have it under the same thing for more what everybody enjoys, so to speak. So sometimes somebody's into more of the beer stuff than the gaming, so I don't want the gaming stuff to pop up. So that's why I'm going to have that on a separate channel. At this point, I might need a Rajay Ramblings channel because I feel like I'm rambling a little bit, but it is what it is. But what is, one thing, like nobody said anything. What is everybody else drinking tonight? Is anybody drinking anything? Are you guys relaxing, kicking back with any type of beer, any type of wine, any type of spirits? It's funny, before I changed to this channel name, I almost called it Simmons Entertainment Network. That could have worked. I like the eclectic beer, though. The eclectic beer is kind of a great, a great signature, like kind of a novelty type thing. You can build around the eclectic beard. You got the great icon for the channel. You can put that icon on t-shirts or anything along those lines you want to do, and people will know what it is. So I kind of like the eclectic beard as the name or the brand, so to speak. Which you should definitely look at putting it on some t-shirts and some different stuff as well. Erie, I was wondering if Erie was still here or not. Erie had been so quiet. She says, "No, I don't like that name out." I'm not drinking till 9 when it's time for the Sunday fun day. Of course, the wifey chiming in. Yeah, I was wondering. Erie had been quiet for a while. I was like, is Erie still here? She's checking on the kids and stuff. But yeah, I like the eclectic beer better myself. Kids make me want to drink tonight. So she is on kid patrol right now. And I thought your logo, when you designed that logo, was a good logo for the channel. I do too. I had to deal with kids, but I'm back. Yeah. So funny, we were at Alan's show last night, and he's like, he had to jump off to get your one kid to bed. He said wouldn't go down. She was still up running around, I guess. So, but kids are kids, It's funny when you think back being a kid and people will tell you, like, don't grow up too fast. Enjoy what you have. You were kind of like, I want to do this, I want to do that. But yeah, definitely enjoy childhood for sure. Oh, as soon as we get a new printer, going to sublimate some stuff for merch and promotional purposes. Yeah, well, I can get you a couple spots out, so we can definitely talk if you want. Like, the place I do my t-shirts and all that kind of stuff, I can definitely help you out there and let you know in case you're interested. 29 Admo, what's going on, my friend? What's up, Rajay? Just got here. How's the BCBS? I'm sipping this year's St. Bernard's Christmas Ale. Nice. This one is pretty smooth. Elijah Craig barrels last year starting to hit me a little bit, so I am feeling it, and it's pretty decent. I end up getting this deal. I may go back to them if they still got some more. What's up, Kyle? I was just talking about you earlier. No Hype Beer Reviews in the house. I'm telling you right now, if you guys like beer reviews, make sure you click on No Hype Beer Reviews. Hit those 3 dots next to his name. Subscribe now to his channel, because Kyle does great stuff on beer. Always love checking him out. Make sure you subscribe to him. You need to go see him because he has great content all around. He will get you pumped up about some of the beers. But Kyle, check this out. 32-ounce Crowler, Elijah Craig, $22. That's a Rod J deal right there, folks. Erie said my sublimation printer went out, so I need a new one. And I was going to say, 29 Admo, I actually do have that St. Bernardus Christmas Ale in the basement. I haven't drank it yet, but I'm going to be definitely looking to check that one out for sure. I missed the whole stream. I crashed. Erie, you went to sleep on me? You went to sleep on me, girl? You were in here before Alan was in here, and then you just disappeared. There you go, 29 Ammo. Subscribe to No Hype. No Hype is he's I don't even know how it took so long. He just went over 1,000 subs recently. Dude, his content is mind blowing. He gives a great breakdown of stuff. Plus, he loves Marvel. I'm telling you, you need to check out No Hype Beer Reviews. Blushing under your beard. Dude, you deserve it. You're the man. You are the man. I loved your video that I commented to earlier. I know you commented back as well. It was a great video this morning. I loved it. I woke up and I saw that and I was like, congrats, brother. Welcome to the 1K club. Yeah, it was a great. I was like, and I asked the guy, "Is that for a crowler?" And he's like, "Yeah, crowler, $22." I'm like, "Hit me up," but it only limited you to one, so I may go back and get another one because this is actually really smooth. I got it still rated on Untapped, but it's at least a 4.75 out of 5 for me. I mean, it is pretty solid. I could drink this like all day, every day for the rest of my life, and I'd be okay with it. I thought the sweetness might hang up on you after a little bit after letting it sit, but no, it's still pretty good. I've been drinking on this for a little bit of time. Erie says, I'm getting old, no lie, I can't hang. Oh, you're still a baby, Erie. You're still a baby. Alan says, at No Hype, you have an awesome beer style, right? It's like when you watch Kyle on No Hype Beer Reviews, you would think he was sitting in the middle of a store, and that's like his beer cellar. He has so many great beers there, so many things to crack in. Like he'll tell you in his video, let him know if you see a beer on the shelf you're questioning about, let him know. Say, hey, you got this beer on the shelf. What's that taste like? I'd like to see a review on it, and Kyle will do that review for you. So great stuff that he has there. You thought my background was something. Psh, it ain't nothing compared to Kyle's and No Hype. You gotta check him out. Right, Alan. Yeah, No Hype doesn't have near enough subs for the quality of beer reviews he puts out. I agree. So, you know, people call me the baby Yoda. No Hype, he's the baby Yoda. And then Kyle said, thanks to Alan. You're too kind. Yeah, Kyle's a modest kind of fella, so I'll hype him up though. I'll be his Flavor Flav and get him the hype and the press he needs. You guys need to check out No Hype. And if you haven't watched that video on the playlist for BeerTuber Spotlights on this channel, I did a sit down with Kyle from No Hype, so make sure you check out that video if you want to find out more about Kyle as well. Yeah, exactly, Rod. It reminds me of Whiskey Scout's Whiskey Room. Right, it's just crazy how much he has there. It's awesome. Hey, what's happening? Hops and Brews is in the house. Welcome. Appreciate you swinging by. Hops and Brews, another channel you should check out. I actually came across Hops and Brews a few months ago. Does some great beer videos over there as well. Has a really great entertaining channel. Make sure you check out Hops and Brews. Hit those 3 dots next to his name as well. He has some really cool stuff. I need to catch up on some of his videos myself, but I can tell you, you will be entertained. Kyle says, I do love your background. Good mix of stuff you're into. Give us an idea about who you are right off the bat. Yeah, so, yeah, I've got all kinds of things here. You know, the one thing you can't see is like right here below the Black Panther poster is actually a poster I got from the Joker. Come on. If you saw the Joker movie, you gotta admit that was a great movie. If you haven't seen the Joker movie, I would definitely recommend it. That's gonna be one of my favorite movies for this year, I think, as we wrap up 2019. It's definitely up there. And we need to introduce No Hype to Blake TV, and you and Blake can play off each other as hype men. There you go, right? Where is Blake? Blake is like the ultimate hype man. I'm surprised Blake didn't jump on tonight. Blake's probably getting ready for Sunday Fun Day. He said background is cool. Background here or background on Kyle or background on both. I mean, Kyle's got a great background on his on No Hype Beer Reviews. I mean, I feel like when I watch Kyle's video, I want to make an order on beers. That's how solid it is. Joker was great. Okay, I'm really leaving now. Cheers. Why? Okay, Kyle. I was like, why are you leaving? But yeah, appreciate you. Whoops, hit the microphone. Appreciate you swinging by, my friend. LOL, that Blake is. Blake is the ultimate hype man. Oh, both. Okay, cool. Yeah, when Blake's around, Blake hypes everybody up. So Blake is the YouTube Flavor Flav for sure. But just a lot of great channels here on YouTube, and I appreciate all you guys that tune in, and definitely want to give you guys all the props that I can definitely give you, and it makes it fun. You know, it's a social network, and we are telling different stories in our own kind of way. So I want to make sure you guys get a chance to tell your story. Right. Hops and Bruce even said it. No hype seller is sick. It is. It's, you look at it and you're like, what story is he shooting from? You're like, no, that's his beer cellar. It is just crazy, the beers. He's collected so many good beers. He still collects so many good beers. He just did some of the Bourbon County on his channel as well. So some great videos you can check out there. For those of you come in later, I actually just found out, I mentioned earlier, that one of my places is going to have Bourbon County. They haven't released it yet for 2019 because they do it in a raffle style fashion. So they were telling me yesterday I should get an email if I want to go ahead and raffle into any of them. So I may do some 2019 videos. But after doing this one today, at some point I am going to do the Epic Baptist series to get that rolling. I would do it tonight, but I feel like I would be a little too buzzed if I did it tonight. So I'm going to have to wait on the Big Bad Baptist. But I'm definitely going to be doing that at some point starting this week. It was funny. Yesterday, if you haven't seen it, I did a video that will probably surprise a lot of people. I did the Bud Light Chelada, the mango Chelada with Clamato. Never thought I would do that video before. Never thought about doing anything like that. But I told Flacco's Beer Reviews I would actually do it because we were talking about Cheladas one night, and I was more surprised than I thought. It actually wasn't really bad. I gave it like a 3 out of 5 on my personal thing for Untapped, but you know what? I had it. I'm like, you know what? I might try a little bit more of these Cheladas. The tomato juice was okay. The mango kind of softened the hit a little bit. Again, it's one of those things, you got to keep an open mind when you're enjoying some of these different things. And that one really surprised me. Alice, I'm going to have to pump out videos to get to 40,000 views a month so I can have a beer cellar like that in about 4 years. So, well, it's, yeah. Kyle has put some time and investment into getting in some great beers there as well. He's, you know, people talk about my beer cellar. When I did beer cellar videos, I'm like, you have no idea. I'm like a baby when it comes to beer cellars. You go to Kyle's beer cellar, you see what he has on No Hype Beer Reviews, or if you go to Joe on the Beer Patrol, though he won't do a video, and I told him to do a video, he's told me he's probably got like 500-600 beers. The videos I've done are only a fraction of what he actually has there. If you go to check out probably Massive Beer Reviews, he has a ton of beers, I'm sure, as well. It's just crazy how many beers that people will have in their cellar. And if you're going to cellar a beer, just make sure you know the beer that you're actually cellaring, right? So a rule of thumb is usually 8% ABV, but that doesn't take into account what the style of the beer is. So you want to do something that might be like a stout, maybe like a porter, Belgian style ale, something that's a higher ABV. You don't want to like maybe do an IPA as much, although you could kind of do an IPA. It was like the 120 from Dogfish Head, which is really one that's kind of in a different level than IPA. It's more like a strong type ale. You could do something like that for a few years. Just make sure you know what you're actually selling. Nobody wants a wheat beer after like 4 years. So make sure if you're going to cellar, you know what styles you can cellar. But yeah, you can build up some beers that will actually have a nice feel on them. It'll change the texture of them. I always say, if you can, one of the key things is to buy 2 beers, try one now, and try one later. And that way, if you try the fresh now, you'll know how it changes by when you cellar it. 29 ammo, you're correct. Sours do age well. So sours do a good job. And in fact, it's kind of funny. I mentioned the 8% is kind of a universal kind of, yeah, that's a guideline type thing. But you'll get some sours under 8% that can actually cellar well. Some of your lambics along those lines. So you got to know what kind of beers you're actually dealing with. If you got a Coors, don't cellar the Coors. The Coors ain't going to change. I'm just telling you, it ain't going to change. So, know what beers you're actually dealing with. Hops and brews, I will tune into that one. Have all those myself. Nope, never. Not a tomato fan. Well, see, that's the thing, right? So, as far as doing something like a chelada, I was never really a huge tomato fan. A few years ago, I had my first Bloody Mary. I thought, that's not that bad, actually, enjoying a Bloody Mary. So that kind of opened up the door for me to actually try looking at a chelada. And I ended up enjoying it a little bit more than I thought I would. As funny, as a kid, I hated tomatoes. In fact, my grandparents would be like, surprised I wouldn't eat like tomatoes because I loved ketchup. But I'm like, I just don't like tomatoes. But they're like, you're eating ketchup. And I'm like, but I don't like tomatoes, but I like ketchup. I don't know, it's a kid's mind at that point. But anyway, when I did the chelada, it actually wasn't that bad. Now, maybe it was because the mango kind of softened the hit. But I am going to try one of the other cheladas with the lime or some other stuff where it's not just a mango involved and see how that may work out. So we'll see how that plays out. Erie said, Alan, you can have that if I have my mansion. Wait a minute. Wouldn't it be your mansion, like together? Like, why's it got to be your mansion, Erie? I mean, both of you together. I mean, I know you're the better half, but it's both of you together. That's your mansion. Alan says, mansion, I'll be happy with a beer room and a cyber truck. Erie's dreaming big. Hey, behind every man's a good woman, right? So she's just trying to drive you, Alan. She's trying to drive you forward for success. That's all. Alan says, how about we shoot for a triple wide? We'll try for stone columns on the front porch. That's pretty funny, Alan. Only traditional sours. Kettle sours do not age well. Yeah. So again, talking about the sours aging. Yeah, so you want something like kind of a lambic or something along those lines. Yeah, the kettle sours are more something of a different type of breed, so I would agree with that for sure. I love sours. I think sours are my second favorite type of beer. Really? So what's your top style of beer you like, Alan? Which one do you like the most, you think, of all the styles you've had? Because I know you like stouts, but I don't know if stouts might be that one or if it's IPAs or anything else. For me, for the people that watch the channel long enough, they kind of know Belgian styles are my favorite type of beers. And then I would probably now at this point have stouts, and then I would have IPAs after that. I do like a good Rauch beer. I like a good Schwartz beer. I like a good Bock. So I'd like some of the other styles, but you get a Belgian double, triple, quad, whatever it may be. I mean, let's just face it. The monks got it down. I mean, if you're giving up sex, you better make one hell of a beer. And the monks have seemed to do that over in Belgium. So I like the Belgian ales. Now he can live in it, he said. Erie, you're killing me. He said, I'll put your ass in a hoe hut in the backyard. Keep it up. Oh, you guys are killing me. Oh, man. I think I'm going to have a show one night because I want to know the women view on some of the stuff. So I'm going to have a show one night. Maybe it'll be Erie on there, and it'll be Shannon from Shannon and Todd. And just let you guys talk about stuff. Because I think that would be one entertaining show. So stouts are your favorite, Alan. Okay. I remember you mentioned the stout. So yeah. Hop says, I love the styles of ABV on the labels. don't remember what styles the one's called. You know, it's funny, we were talking about that earlier, hops and brews, that it's amazing that there are some beer companies that don't list the ABV. Like, it should be a regulation. You have to list ABV on all your beers. Ashley Sexton was here earlier, who said in Canada they actually have to do that. So it's surprising that some people don't do that. 29 Ammo, LMAO, Belgian beers are great. Yeah, Belgian beers are always solid. You know, I always love a Duvel. I always love a Chimay. I love a Drac. I love different ones that come out of that region. It's just imagine hitting those and enjoying them. There's always tasty from what I find. Now, I do like the feel of some of the clove and the coriander in some of the beers as well, so it matters on your palate, but I always think they do a great job. Even something like, if I'm going to choose like a major beer and someone gave me a Stella, which is a Belgian, basically lager, a Stella is not a bad beer. I actually picked up the Midnight Lager from Stella. They had just done, so I'm going to do a review on that here in the next few weeks, but it's not a bad beer to actually kick back and enjoy. Erie says, my Ho Hut best have 5 rooms. She'll take it, but it better have 5 rooms, Alan. Oh, that's hilarious. Man, this is not a disappointing beer. You know, I'm a person that I don't usually wait in lines for beer. Like, I don't go to these, you know, you got to be here at 3 in the morning type thing, stand in line type stuff. But the Bourbon County line is one that I will still pick up if I see it. I don't know if I wouldn't wait out for it. I mean, the 2019 came out of Jungle Gyms this year, and I didn't want to hang out for a few hours before they started it, but when I do have it, it is a decent beer. I'll give them that. It's pretty solid. Yeah, one of the smoother ones I've had. And Elijah Craig definitely plays well into this one. So now I'm at a point I kind of want to get to 2019. So if I end up getting this thing for this raffle, I will be doing those as well. But I need to check this beer in on Untapped. And as I mentioned, this one here, 4.75 is what I'm getting for this one. It's good. It's just damn good. So I would say pick it up if you happen to see it. This is the Elijah Craig barrel. Your Ho Hut will have 3 rooms, 1 for you and 2 for the kids when they get on my nerves. So you gonna send the kids to the Ho Hut? How you gonna send the kids to the Ho Hut? That ain't cool. Need all that space to be ho as shit. Hell no, they staying with you. That's funny. You know, a hoe needs space. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Oh, you guys are killing me. I don't think anybody did tell me. Is anybody else drinking anything tonight? Are you guys cracking anything open? Are you enjoying anything? I know Alan's not doing anything until the show starts, when he's going to have that at 9 o'clock on his channel. You know, speaking of growing up in the Northeast, anybody up in the Northeast, where I grew up, Wawa was a big chain up there for kind of like a 7-Eleven, but convenience store chains. They're actually creating some more craft beer coffees, which is kind of interesting. A convenience store chain, kind of in the craft beer world. So, well, are you being hoish? Better change more than a corner stop sign. You ain't gonna see none of that gas. Oh my God, that's awesome. I'll have the baby powder and the pimp hand strong. Don't play with me. See, that's awesome. That's awesome. Coffee. You're still drinking coffee? You're not drinking anything else tonight, Erie? You're not indulging? I guess because you're on Kid Patrol, you got to make sure you're good to go. I've heard the Moncherie is the worst BCBS variant this year. Haven't cracked mine open yet. Wow, interesting. That's interesting. I haven't seen anybody that I know upload the review yet on the Moncherie. I think Kyle from No Hype Beer Reviews did get it, but I don't think he did a review on it yet. That's interesting. Oh, No Hype did review it. I didn't see where he did it then. Let me put it on this thing so I can watch it later. Let me scroll through. Okay, I do see where he has it here. So I'm going to save it so I can watch it later. So did they say why they didn't like it as much? Was it off the flavoring, or was it thin, or anything that may have happened? Not tonight, work tomorrow. What's that got to do with anything, Erie? I work tomorrow too. I work and I'm still enjoying a nice beverage. Corner ain't gonna run itself, as the husband says. That's awesome. That is a great line there, Erie. I love it. Corner ain't gonna run himself. It's kind of funny on HBO. I've been watching the one series with James Franco on there. It was the what was the name of that one? I'll pull it up here. It was the Deuce, and that's something you would see in a Deuce. Corner ain't gonna work itself. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, Monday, back to work tomorrow. Think it didn't match the flavor profile. I'm interested in cracking mine open now. Yeah, I'd be interested to see what you actually thought of it as well. If you want to let me know, either in the comments here or on some other one, if you want to message me, I'd be kind of interested, because I'm going to go ahead and find out from the other brewery. I emailed them tonight to find out where they're going to put the other beers out. So I'll put in something to try to get that beer. But kind of curious what you kind of think about it as well. Let me see here. And I think she won't cam up. She's more popular than the rest of them. Yeah, I mean, like I said, if I have a show with Erie and Shannon, I'm sure it'll be crazy. People will love to tune in to see that. Last Sunday, she said she did the whole vodka thing and overslept. So you're kind of pacing yourself now. Well, you can just do what you need to do, not go overboard. Just kind of keep it nice and simple. Are you going to be on Alan's show later tonight, Erie? Because if I get in, I'm going to actually from 9 to, I don't know, what HBO 10 or 10:05, whatever it is, I'm going to watch Watchmen. and then I'm gonna come back, and then if you guys are live, Alan, I'm gonna try to jump in and check out your guys' show. But if I want to see if Erie's gonna be on there. Erie said I did cam up for a hangout. LOL. See, I never had you cammed up, Erie. No, hooker, hangouts don't count. And see, this is a whole loving relationship, right? So it's great that you can do this with your significant other. So it's awesome. If you're newlywed, just realize this is going to be something down the line. You don't want to do these things early on. Don't do them early on. This is something down the line where you can have this kind of dialogue. You do it too soon, your ass will be divorced. So it's now as I let it sit here, I'm almost getting a little bit of a leathery type of feel too to the beer. Damn, son, what I come into? Oh, what's going on, Eric? Eric, my friend, what's going on? Debating it. You know what, Eric? We're used to Todd and Shannon. Well, tonight we got Alan and Erie. It's awesome. Oh, what's going on, brother? I didn't watch the stuff earlier, but I know you were tuning into the Lions game. Not sure what may have happened. Said Alan said to Eric, me and the wife done taking over the chat almost unintentionally. It's all good. I love the free flow of the chats. I love what's going on. Eric said, what you got, Rajay? So, Eric, this is the 32-ounce Crowler I picked up from Party Source. It is the Bourbon County style from 2018 that was done in the Elijah Craig barrels. Very smooth, very awesome. 4.75 out of 5 that I gave it on Untapped. Would definitely say check it out if you haven't checked it out already. I don't know who all has it on tap outside of, where I got a Party Source. I mean, these breweries hang on this stuff, so sometimes you can find it in places, but that is a very smooth addition. Earlier, I did a rundown of the history of Bourbon County Stout as well. Erie said he's on the couch tonight, so we are good. Just so per usual. Yeah, per usual. Yeah. Oh, yum. Yeah, so I'm having this right now. After I get done here, I'm going to make some cheesesteaks. I'm going to watch Watchmen later. But I'm going to come back and watch the Eclectic Beer at 9. Well, it won't be at 9 o'clock. If they're still going at 10, the Sunday Fun Day, I'm going to jump on there or watch them, depending who all is on there and everything. Sunday Fun Day on the Eclectic Beer at 9 o'clock tonight. I got to catch Watchmen tonight, though. That's my show. Richie Z, what's going on, my friend? It's been a while. Cheers, brother. It says, hey, Rod and Eric and Erie. Good to see you. I'm actually enjoying a Bourbon County brand stout tonight. So, 2018 Elijah Craig. Oh, she's full of shit, too. Alan, don't get yourself in the doghouse, brother. Don't get yourself in the doghouse tonight. She's already got you to the couch, my friend. Got a Miller Lite on number 2. That's right. Pace yourself with those Miller Lights, Eric. Eric, we got to play Modern Warfare again, my friend. We got to get your Modern Warfare game up, so let me know when you want to play. And then Alan, Richie said hello to Alan. Hey, Eclectic Beard. And Eric said, what up, Richie, as well? Been a while, brother. Yeah, definitely. So I'm doing a little bit more of the live streams. I popped in earlier. I don't even know how long I've been doing this stream for, but to talk about the Bourbon County, which I did earlier in the video, the kind of a live chat, and I enjoy doing these, so I'm going to be doing more of the live chats as I go forward and to kind of see what's going on. Talked about a few other things in between, but, it's all good. It's Sunday night, getting ready for the work week, so kicking back and relaxing. Definitely, yeah, let me know. Todd and I played baseball the other night, but I gotta get back into some more. Oh, yeah. Let me know if you get the MLB 19 for sure. But I want to get back into some Modern Warfare. They changed it up now with the new updates and everything a little bit. They added some more different things. We could actually go into 2 versus 2 type thing as well. Been in Doghouse, undeserving, but that's life. How'd you get in Doghouse, Richie? What happened that put you in a doghouse, my friend? Aries says Alan stays in the doghouse. Well, maybe Alan's like George Clinton and Tommy Dog. Bow wow wow. Yippee yo, yippee yay. LOL, dirty dogs. They say guys are dogs and women are cats. So, like the whole men are from Mars, women are from Venus type thing. I think after New Year I'll be back on YouTube. Good, brother. Dude, Eric, you have a good channel. You're doing good stuff. So definitely come back on the YouTube, my friend. No clue, but the lady was in a bad mood that day. Well, Richie, some days those are going to happen, and it's better just to back away slowly and let them get whatever they need to get under control, I guess, so to speak. So, I hear you, brother. Aries said, did you say your wife goes to live in a whole hut too? Who, Erie? Alan said, I think we've been married this long because I don't know what outside of the doghouse looks like, so I just run with it. Women definitely are cats, right? Yeah, I thought about that a long time ago, Richie. It's kind of like the men are from Mars, women are from Venus. But I'm like, if you had to put them in animals, guys are like dogs and women are like cats. I just thought that was kind of the case at points. After the Christmas break, well, awesome. Women aren't cats. Women are psychopaths. Slowly but surely, new levels are crazy. But no, you have to look at some of the personifications, just like how dogs roam and all kind of stuff, and some dogs loyal and some aren't, but like women are like cats and they're pretty much level all the way through, but they're moody at points and they want to have their own way. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know what I'm saying right now because the Bourbon County's got me out here, gonna probably get me in the doghouse with my wife in this video. My inner conscious right now is like, shut up! Don't say anymore! Don't say anymore! Aren't the crazy ones the ones you want, Alan? They're in the running for the playoffs. He texted me today. We were both 49ers fans, so it looks okay for now. Yeah, the 49ers, I got a buddy here who's a big 49ers fan too. Yeah, the 49ers are looking really good. Yeah, just take it a day at a time, Richie. A day at a time. I was asking if he's putting his wife in a hoe hut too. Maybe why she's pissed, LMAO. You were asking Richie if Richie was putting his wife in a hoe hut. Oh, I think technically only Alan has said the hoe hut, so I think Richie's just trying to make sure he didn't do anything wrong. Like, give some space, assess the situation, and then move forward from there. And we have a kick-ass sneak attack. I don't even know where I'm at in the stream right now. It just took a crazy turn, so all I know is happy wife, happy life. Learn it and love it. That's how it works out. Honestly, I don't care anymore. I've been unconditional forever, and that means not a LOL. A day at a time, yes, indeed, brother. Right? So, yeah, I mean, we all learn how to live with each other and stuff like that and everything, but there's just sometimes you just don't know, and it's kind of like, well, let's see what happens, The good thing is, if you're arguing with your significant other, that shows definitely that you guys are into each other. If you're not arguing with a significant other, possibly at some point, then maybe you're not into each other as much. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like when you love and you care, I think you actually have more involvement like that. Well, Hoha sounds better and will get you in less trouble than... Oh, man. That does sound better and will get you less trouble than the concaves. Yeah, I agree. I'm back, so had to go burn one. LOL. Well, Ron, I don't know what you walked into right now, but we're having a debate between men and women, it seems, so it's pretty funny. Erie said truth. I'd rather the cave. I need the ladies, if you know what I mean, LOL. So we've taken a turn from the beer for sure, so... This is the fun of YouTube, socializing, and looking at different aspects of life. Oh, that 15.2 is kicking in right now. 32 ounces of it. I think I may go back to Party Source and get more of this one. Got a little bit of a syrupy appeal, too. I wonder what it tastes like on pancakes. I'm going to get you another beer, ROFL. Oh, Erie, if you want to murder them, but don't you love them? Well, yeah, if you want to murder them, because you got to have some type of love type factor with them if you're going to take it to the level of murder, right? So, kind of like the whole burn in bed type situation. Like, you loved them, that's why you're burning the bed. Otherwise, you would just leave. Eric said, how much have I had of that? Actually, it's a 32-ounce can, so I've had a whole crowler. Doesn't take long to go off the rails and straight off the cliff. No. It's like Thelma and Louise right over the cliff, my friend. Just, you keep driving, and bam, you're there. Which actually, that's a movie I've never actually watched with Thelma and Louise. I just know how it goes. Rod, have had the standard Guinness recently. I had one that was nice. So what was the standard Guinness that you had, Richie? Because they have the different ones. Are you talking about just the regular Guinness draft, or was it the Guinness Extra Stout, or which one was it from Guinness you had there? Eric says, Alan, I think you direct us there. Ron says, treat them like dirt, they'll stick around. And they'll stick around like mud. Eric says, whoa. Alan says 32 ounce. Yeah, you feeling toasty. Oh, hold on, I got a message help for review here. Let me clear that up. Barry Sanders, I'm kissing the mom's ass. Rolling the floor laughing is Eric. So yeah. Yeah, so I mean it's a 32-ounce crowler. Like I said, 15.2. I missed lunch today. I got to make dinner, so probably a little more lightheaded than I want to actually enjoy this one, but that's all right. Just a regular draft. Okay, so you're talking about just the Guinness draft. Which the Guinness draft is solid, but see, here's the thing that I run into, Richie. Once you have like the foreign extra stout from Guinness, it makes everything else seem to pale in comparison. That it's hard for me to go back to that. The foreign extra stout is probably the best Guinness one I've had on their stouts. The Antwerpen stout's a good one too. I want to go to the Guinness Brewery in Maryland at some point. But it's just, I used to like that until I had the foreign extra stout. It just made that much of a difference. I still like it. I still drink it with no problem if I have the regular stout. But check out the foreign extra stout if you get a chance. I think you'll really enjoy that one. Eric said, hashtag, come on, man. A little Chris Carter. You said Chris Carter, come on, man.
Come on, man. I mean, come on, man.
Oh man. But yeah, that Bourbon County is no joke. Yeah, and Rich said I agree as well. Yeah, so I always love Guinness though. I want to go to their brewery, not just for the foreign extra stout, but they have so many other beers that are created just for the American market. But like some, you have to go to the brewery, which reminds me of another thing. So Dogfish Head released, they're going to bring out 160 beers in 2020. Here's the thing. Most of those beers, you actually have to be in Delaware to enjoy because they're going to be local beers. So it's kind of like a hype around them, but they're not going to be able to get all those beers out to people. You actually have to be there to enjoy a majority of those 160 beers they're coming out with. Richie said more whiskey, but I totally agree. A good brew anytime. I'll check that one out. Yeah, if you see the foreign extra stout, I think you will enjoy that one. It's kind of a little bit smoother, a little bit more of a caramel coffee type feel to it, but it is pretty solid. Ron says, go Steelheads. Are the Steelheads the Steelers? I haven't seen a comment here from Erie and the Eclectic Beer. Just making sure everything's okay there. Just making sure what's going on. Do I like a good British bitter brew? I love those. Yeah. So like ESB, I do like it. I like a good British beer along those lines. I like some of the bitter and type beers as well. I need to do some more videos on some ESBs though. I haven't done an ESB in a while, so need to get a few of those up. 29 says foreign extra is good. Yeah, it's a, I would say more of a sweet. It's a more, I guess you can say more of a sweeter caramel. It's more of a type variant of it. It's got a little more of a velvety type feel to it rather than the bitterness. And keep in mind, the foreign extra stout was something more recently introduced here in the American market because it wasn't always available here, but it's definitely a solid beer. All right, Alan's still there, so just making sure. I didn't know if somebody may have thrown a remote control or a frying pan or anything like that across the room. Making sure you and Erie are in good shape. Oh. I think she went to go hide from kids or they killed her and cannibalized her, or one of the two. Do some ESBs? All right, I'll make a note of that, Richie. I'll check out some more of the ESBs as well. See what I have here. QT is sipping a lager out of Lager's dirty boot. Has a little twang to it. That's funny. I can't even think of the last time I had an ESB. It's definitely been a little bit of time, but yeah, I would definitely check out some more of those. I need to get through the beers I have actually here in the cellar more than anything. Oh, there's the area. All right, trying to get the kiddos calmed. There you go. The rich is awesome. Yeah, so I don't know if I have any ESBs on hand right now. Let me check. I've got so many stouts right now because I got Burnout IPA for a bit of time. Freaking like everybody's doing freaking IPAs. Let's see here. I don't have any in the cellar right now, it looks like, but I would definitely keep an eye out for it. Which is great thing about Untapped, you can track all that stuff here now, so that lets you know everything you have on your list. Right now, my cellar says 128 items, but it only says one item per whatever type of drink you have. So some of them I have 3 or 4 of, right? So I probably got like 150 something beers in my cellar right now. Erie said I got my pan handy. Ron says drink hams, best of the. You know what, Ron? I agree with you. If you want like an adjunct type lager, hams is a great one to actually pick up. You get a good value with that, and you don't lose much. Like I can drink a hams versus a Bud or a Miller or a Coors with no problem. I think hams is very solid as an adjunct lager. C-Rod, I can't ever get too comfortable. Alan says, he says never. And then Ron asked me to review American Adjunct Lager. I'll take a look at a few more of those. I will tell you, Ron, one of the beers I just picked up is a Temptations, which I think is kind of a malt liquor type or malt flavored beverage, but it comes from one of the breweries like that. I had recently just did the Bud Light Clamato yesterday. I don't know if you saw that or not on the channel. It was their Mango Clamato Chelada. But yeah, I'll take a look at some more adjunct lagers. I was actually thinking about doing that as well when I was at Kroger last time. I saw some of their like 25-ounce cans and stuff. Like, you know what? I haven't done an adjunct in a while, so I can definitely do that. And then Richie said, do you have any brews from San Diego? I think I still have. I might have some Ballast Points still in the basement. Let me see here. Well, no, it looks like I may have done all the Ballast Point. Was there out of San Diego. But, you know, if I see stuff from San Diego, I would definitely take a look at it. I look to get beers from all over the country and stuff. So Ron said, "Yuck, LOL." Yeah, it was something I said I would try, and actually, the Chelada was better than I thought it was going to be. So maybe because the mango made it a little bit better for me, but I would definitely try a little bit more. Again, I got into Bloody Marys a couple years ago, so I kind of got used to the tomato on that. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be at the time I actually got it. I don't see any more San Diego type beers here on my list. But you guys get some good beers from San Diego out there too, so I would definitely take a look at it. I mean, it always depends on what place I go to buy beers. If I go to Jungle Gyms, they have it broken down by all the different places across the country. Obviously, I look at California because California has a lot of good breweries out of there. But the biggest one I've had for San Diego has probably been Ballast Point, which is weird now, right? Because Ballast Point got sold to Chicago Brewery. Thirsty Dog. I actually have done Thirsty Dog. And the Labrador Lager. Have I done that review on that one? I may actually have done a review on that one. Let me take a look here. And I actually have a Thirsty Dog in the cellar, I know right now. Let me see here. So the Labrador Lager, Ron, I actually have that on the channel. I've done a review on that one in the past as well. So that is here. If you were going onto the channel for Labrador Lager, you will see that review. They do some good stuff out of Akron. I thought I picked up their barrel-aged beer, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I was just thinking I saw it and I thought I had gotten it. Yeah, it looks like I don't have it on the house right now. But I did see their barrel-aged one they have here. I believe Thirsty Dog also has a 12 Days of Christmas, which I've actually drank and enjoyed as well. Let me see here. Any favorite saisons? Those are just so elegant. I don't know if any favorite. I've had some saisons I've tried over time that I've actually enjoyed. Let me see here. I do like the style of the saisons. Let's see here. There was one I had from Funkworks, their Saison de Brett, which was pretty good. Monic Beer Company, the Ricky's Super Saison. Trying to see the ones that actually stood out here. New Belgium had their Sour Saison that I actually enjoyed. I gave that a 4 out of 5. Uintah Brewing out of Utah, their Krogy Brett Saison, 4 out of 5. The Warp Wing Brewery out of Dayton, Ohio. They have a Barn Gag Saison, 4.25 out of 5. I gave that one, which is pretty good. The Blank Slate Brewing, they're actually not there now, but they had a good one as well. Rock Mill Brewery out of Ohio here, 4.5 out of 5. They have one called Saison Noir, which was actually pretty good as well. I'm just going through my Untapped here. There was one out of Pretty Things Beer and Ale Project, the Phil Mouse's Farewell, 4.25 out of 5. Stone Saison, I gave a 4 out of 5. You know, I'm so much, and I mentioned this earlier, of a in the person type moment. It's kind of like I have to look back on my Untapped to see what I enjoyed at that time. I kind of just focus on that moment at that point. It's just Riddick Bowe, LOL. No, I wish. I take Riddick Bowe's money for sure. To me, Saisons are like wine-like version of beer. Yeah, so Richie, you're right. So when you think of the Saison, they're kind of like a wine-type version of the beer. Just kind of like, you know, you look at a Brut IPA. A Brut IPA is kind of like the champagne version of a type of beer when you think about it. So I would definitely agree with you that there. Saison DuPont is good. Okay. I've heard about Saison DuPont, but I have not picked that up. So I have heard that one was good from other people as well. Ron says, I'm getting crushed. So you're definitely enjoying yourself. So that's good. Rod, are you pours mood driven like mine? Not really mood driven. It's a matter of just whatever I have there, what I'm thinking. I will say at some points, it's a matter of when it might be in that point of the day, right? So, like last night, I was going to do this beer, which was the Goose Island 15.2, but it was like 12 o'clock at night, and I'm like, I don't want to drink that heavy of that night, so I'll do that on Sunday, and I had a lower ABV type beer. But there are points where it's kind of like, you know what? I feel like an IPA today, and I'll do an IPA type beer. So it does happen, but most of the time it's just what I feel, and it's kind of like I go to the cooler and I look in there and like, you know, kind of like Greg's beer reviews, right? Let's see what's in the fridge today, and I'll see what I might want to have and enjoy. Which Greg is like an OG. If you haven't seen Greg's beer reviews, he's like an OG. He's like one of the first people I started watching on YouTube. So you can always check him out there as well. It does come into play as a matter of feel. And it's kind of like if it's a colder type day, like that's why people in the winter drink more stouts. A little bit cooler, they want something to heat them up a little bit more, so they'll get a little bit of a stout type action taking place. So sometimes there's mood driven. It just depends on what I'm feeling at that point, so to speak. Sometimes it's food driven, right? If I'm going to have, say, like some type of certain wings, I may try to match it up with a certain beer. I'm going to go here in a little bit and make some cheesesteaks. So I'll probably have an IPA or something with the cheesesteaks. It all depends. But it's fun to experiment for the different pairing options that are available. Yeah, definitely check him out for sure. So Ron, what are you getting crushed on, by the way? Are you drinking a thirsty dog right now? And I gotta give a big shout out to MU and their music channel. So usually I just kind of use them now for the music because of the whole copywriting type stuff, blah, blah, blah. But if you're looking for music for your YouTube channel, check out MU, Free Music for YouTube. Great channel. I use a lot of their soundtracks in the background right now as well. I always give them a shout out, put a little thing in the description. But they make some nice little beats you can relax to, and you don't have to worry about the copyright stuff as long as you give them credit in the description. So but my glass has when it's empty. It's funny but great how brew and whiskey have totally caught up to wine with food pair. Yeah, it is. And you know, with whiskey itself, like for instance, when you're making a whiskey, a lot of times it's beer ahead of time, but you gotta let it ferment and you go through different things to make it into the whiskey style. But it is great how it's caught up with wine and the food pairing. And there's actually a chart, which I meant to post on the community tab. I haven't done it yet, but they can kind of show you how to pair different beer with food and stuff like that and everything. And it's fun to experiment. Some of your things, like for instance, your porters make some great pairings for desserts. Like people don't think about having a beer dessert, like while they're having like a fudge cake or something, or torte or whatever. And beer can actually be a great pairing for that as well. As you know, and not just mention, like you have stuff, we talked about the saisons earlier, but saisons make nice pairings for some of your like lighter type salads and stuff too. Or if you're having like ahi tuna, like an appetizer type thing, it's so many different things you can do with the beer now. It's awesome. And whiskey as well. So to be a beer drinker at this point is like to be a beer drinker in the golden age of beer, because so many things are being done. It's kind of like if somebody says, I don't like beer, you're kind of like, really? Really? Because there's so many different styles that are out there. You can find almost anything for a beer drinker to enjoy. And some of them don't even taste like beer, which is phenomenal as well, that people will actually sit and enjoy. Like my wife, she wasn't a huge beer drinker, and now I've got her palate down so much. It's kind of like we go to a restaurant, what do you want to drink? And she just looks at me like from the waiter or the waitress or whatever, and it's kind of like, we'll get her this, get her that. Because I got her down where she likes certain lagers, or she likes certain sour ales. She'll like certain things like some of the white ales. It's like, there's so many different things you can actually do that people can enjoy. Brew can make a dinner night out of total great experience. Yeah, definitely. It can be a great experience with it. And you learn, like, there are certain things, like for instance, if you like spicy food, if you have an IPA with spicy food, that helps to actually intensify some of the flavor. Like people don't realize that. There's different things that you're working with your palate that you can actually use to increase a better experience of the food you're actually enjoying. To me, that's awesome. That's what makes it fun talking about beers, learning these things and being able to share these type of things and having people be able to enjoy those type of experiences. I mean, we did my day job, we did a beer tasting last year a couple times, and people were surprised about what they were getting out of certain beers because they had not been beer fans before, but they were able to find certain things that they like, I can't believe this is beer. It's just something that can enhance the experience. Right, beer can definitely make the night 29. It's definitely can enhance it. And it's kind of like, we're not stuck in the 70s and 80s anymore. It's not just like it's Miller, Bud, Schaefer, Coors or whatever. We have tons of different beers out there that can provide a unique experience. I mean, you think about some of the sours you enjoy. It's like sweet tarts in a glass. I mean, you're just enjoying them. Erie said, I'm a non-beer drinker, but some Allen reviewed, I have to say tasted pretty good. Right. There's different things out there that people just aren't aware of as far as being great beers. It's like, I see someone, they say they're not a beer drinker. What do you usually like? And they'll say, whatever descriptors they're like, well, try this. If you're a coffee drinker, there's beers that are suited to like a coffee type drinker where you might enjoy them and you don't really get the bitterness of the beer, but you get more of the coffee appeal. If you're a person that likes sour type stuff, you get some of that sour appeal rather than the beer. I mean, there's just tons of stuff out there. So it's kind of like, if you would enjoy something, you have to open your horizons and expand them more than what we have been taught about beer years ago. There's just so much of an opportunity to enjoy some good things out there. So that's what the fun comes from doing something like this. It's amazing the range and choice we have. Yeah, and I mentioned it earlier, Richie. I don't know if you were in or not, but it's like, if you're a beer drinker or someone looking to experiment with beer, you have to love this time that we're in now, because we are in kind of a golden age of beer. Beer has been around for ages, but right now you have so many breweries doing so many different things. In the U.S., we're in between 7,500 to 8,000 breweries that are doing so many different things to try to enhance what beer tastes like. It's awesome to be able to go out and experience different stuff. Alan said, I've always had the folks go Bud Light, so I just handed them a glass of water. Bud Light and Coors Light, yeah, I've heard that before. In fact, we had an event one time. We had a guy in, we were at a brewery. It was Rock Bottom. And the guy asked, like, do you have something like close to a Bud Light? And he's like, well, I can bring you a glass of water, I guess, whatever. He was joking, right? Well, the waiter came back with the glass of water, and we all cracked up hilarious. But then he gave him pretty much like a golden type ale, something that kind of gave him a crossover type feel. There's so many different things out there. And he said, now some, I'm like, what the fuck? Well, yeah. I tell you, if you have a beer, one of the breweries I'm going to mention here, if you ever get a chance to try any beer from 450 North out of Indiana, and their slushy beers, you would swear that is not a beer. It is like you were drinking like a slushy at 7-Eleven. You're surprised. It's like an old school icy type thing, but it's a beer. It's a Berliner Weiss. Kind of just blows people's minds how 450 North is making these beers. They don't taste like beer. They're like, you're just enjoying this fruity type thing. And at the same point, you're getting a nice sour beer out of it. They're just one of the few breweries doing stuff like this, but there are so many different breweries doing so many good things out there. It's kind of like, when someone says that they're not a beer drinker, I kind of laugh, because I'm like, you just haven't found a beer you like, because there's tons of beers you have no idea about. They make those slushies, right? Yeah, they make the slushies, Alan, that are just freaking phenomenal. Which at some point I need to go there, because they're about 2.5 hours away from me. I need to go there and do a video and meet those guys at some point, which I'm going to put that on the thing to try to do here in 2020 for sure. I mean, they are kind of like, if you hear like stuff on the East Coast, you hear about like Treehouse and Trillium. In the Midwest, you hear a lot about 450 North, so to speak. So I go into local tap rooms with a growler and try nice stuff and make new friends. Hopefully, not new female friends for obvious reasons. What? You can have a few female friends, Richie, right? Yeah. Nobody wants that conversation. I don't know who she is. I don't know what's going on. I just came for beer. Yeah, I hear you, brother. I hear you. Yeah, there's a ton of good beers out there that, as a beer drinker, it's basically a kid in Candyland right now. It's just, that's why it's kind of like I try not to go out too much to the beer stores because I want to buy stuff. And I've got enough beer in the beer cellar. I don't need to really shop anymore right now. Like, I have enough beer right now. If something went bad, I'm at least good for 6 months. But it's kind of like, if I don't go now, I'm going to miss certain beers that are out there. That's just how crazy the beer scene is right now. It's like, if you don't go now, you're going to miss this beer releasing this certain beer. And it's like, shit, I guess I got to go out and buy the beer now. I've yet to try one of there, but I want to for 14 North. The Orange Julius by Treehouse, outstanding, but Enchantment Under the Sea by local brewery is better in my opinion. Okay, well there you go. Cutie says, give me a Zima and some Poon, bartender. Oh, not the Zima. Not the Zima, QT, not the Zima. Female friends land you an episode of Wives with Knives on ID channel. What is that? Wives with Knives. That sounds like a Lifetime special. Oh, I just saw an advertisement. Swamp People comes back January 23rd. I love some Swamp People. I'll tell you that about myself. I do like watching Swamp People on History Channel. One of my favorite shows. See, Erie, that's why I spend no much on beer. Erie says, I love Zima. Stop it, Erie. Stop it. Cut that out. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, Todd? What's going on, brother? I'm just here talking. I actually finished a little Bourbon County a little bit ago. And much like you and Shannon, Alan and Erie are entertaining everybody, it seems. Check out the ID channel. Erie, I feel like you're setting me up. It's like, is the ID channel like Lifetime? Like nothing ever comes good for guys on that channel. It's always the women that went out. Cutie says, give me a shot of Jack in a night with Jill. Oh, that's awesome. And Alice says, cheers, Todd. Pop some Lifesaver or Jolly Ranchers. Put some. I don't see if you gotta put Lifesavers or Jolly Ranchers in the Zima. Why do you want the Zima? Anything you gotta add an additional thing to is not good out of the gate. Terrible, in my opinion. Terrible. Alice says she's all kind of crazy, Rajay. Hopefully no other women are watching because they'll be agreeing. Alan, I can probably get some 450 North out to you at some point. Well, there you go, Alan. There you go. Todd's our 450 North inside man. So there you go. Erie says, no, it's real life. Cutie says, Jolly Rancher Zima. Erie, thumbs up. That's funny. Yeah, I always hear that about the Zima. I was not a big fan of Zima when it first came out. But give me 1 second. I'm going to run away for here because I got to hit the bathroom real quick. That Bourbon County's catching up. But you guys talk amongst yourselves. So he says, and I'll give you a topic. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back, like Chuck Woolery 2 and 2, with the trucker hat for Erie, of course, because she liked the trucker hat. So, back with the trucker hat right now. Catch up on these comments. You guys have been chatty catties out of here. Welcome to Zima Talk with Cutie. That's funny. Good Lord. I thought that was the end. No, it's up more. Oh, let me go back up here. Erie said because you can make it any flavor you want, talking about the Zimas. Cutie said, 44-year-olds, we dated ourselves. Yeah, we did date ourselves with the Zima stuff for sure. And okay, sounds good. I'll do my best when the time comes. There you go, Todd. Todd, don't know if our wives could get acquainted. We might wind up murdered and they could be collecting insurance money. Well, Todd, you missed it earlier. I said I'm going to have a show just with Shannon and Erie on it just to kick back and let them do everything. Cutie says his favorite was sour apple Zima. You forget about some of the flavors Zima used to have. And right now, I am cracking open another beer here, by the way, so not ending anytime soon, it looks like. And this is from Lagunitas. It is their Dark Swan Sour Ale. You can't really beat the value of Lagunitas out there. Lagunitas is probably one of the best values you can get in the beer market for what they provide and what you actually get. So I do like their beers. Alan said, not gonna lie, I like Zima, and only if there were some Jolly Ranchers to put in it. Alan, you should have lied, my friend. We did Zima bombs, mix one of each, and add some Pop Rocks. Never heard of that one. Richie said, love Rod, one of the friendliest and most genuine guys on IT. Well, I appreciate that, Richie. That's what I'm all about for sure. And yeah, I'm all about everybody having a great time, and let's make some friends and have some fun and enjoy it for sure. Erie, the Blue Raspberry was a bomb up in some Zima. You guys are really getting too Zima deep, by the way. You guys are really loving the Zima. QD asked how old Erie was. And let me go back here. Erie said 32. Todd said LA Male Allen, probably a true statement talking about the wives. Alan said that Richie D, daddy is. Well, thanks, Alan. I appreciate that. And Alan, I have to do the insurance first. As Erie said, they brought Zima back for a bit. We have to get Rod a 6-pack and Jolly Ranchers. No, you don't have to get Rod Jack on that. No, seriously, at our Kroger, we did have the Zima, and it was a full display. It took them forever to get rid of that stuff. I didn't pick any up. Todd, myself, Eric, we all and Joe, we even talked about Zima when it came back out in the market at one point, and it's kind of like I don't know why they brought it back out. It's like, would you bring out Crystal Pepsi again? You knew Crystal Pepsi wasn't as great, so why would you bring that out again? Oops, sorry, my camera died on the other camera. Let me get that reset here. So now I switched to the other one. Just saw that there, so I do apologize. Give me a second here, getting that all hooked up. Freaking technology, I tell you, it's always something happening. Talks amongst yourselves. I give you a topic. Bartles and James. Were you a fan of the Bartle and James coolers back in the day? Did you drink those? Enjoyed the most of the Bartles and James line, if you remember. Let's see. Let me go back. I'm gonna actually reset this camera where I'm not stuck on it, so to speak. All right, so now we're good. We're back. Technology, all the things you got to work at. You know, you're doing a one-man show, you're producing, you're doing all this other stuff. So that's where I'm at right now. But anyway, the Dark Swan is up next. Cutie says they brought Zima back. Hey Todd, if you're there, I think you have moderate. So if you want to freeze some of the comments, feel free, by the way. I'm trying to get all caught up here, trying to get everything back to where it was. Let me see, where was I? Cutie said they brought Zima back for a little bit. We have to, oh yes, I read that one. Used to drink Zima from Boone's Farm. Wow. Whatever it was at the gas station. Boone's Farm. Now that's a good throwback. I've remember the Boone's Farm back in the college days, and we would drink that along with like Mad Dog or whatever. When you're like a younger person, you were just like whatever you get your hands on. But Boone's Farm was definitely in the mix for sure. Todd said I'm worth more than dead than alive. LOL. Oh, that's funny. Boone's Farm was a shit back in the day. I agree, Alan. Boone's Farm was easy pickup. Got a nice little buzz off of it. Look at that. Boone's Farm, Mad Dog. In New Jersey, one of the ones that people would drink would be Wild Irish Rose. Obviously, you had your 40s of some of the different beers. But, you know, you were most likely you were cheap. You had whatever dollars you had into it, and you were trying to find a cheap liquor. Those definitely came together. As Cutie says, Mad Dog 2020 fans unite. We had some crazy stories. I remember one time we did Wild Irish Rose, and we were drinking it, and one of my buddies was so hammered, and this was like November, December, cold winter up in New Jersey. We had done a bottle of Mad Dog 2020, me, him, and another buddy. And he got so hot, he started like taking off his coat and all that kind of stuff, laying down pretty much in front of, it was called the Carpet Factory, which is next to the Burlington Coat Factory in New Jersey, because he was saying it was too hot. That's how much buzzed he was back then. So that was off of Wild Irish Rose. Crazy. Then Allison, Mad Dog 2020 with the throw up faces. That's hilarious. Allison, I've gotten sick off of that so many times. Yeah, but you came back to it. You came back to it after getting sick off of it. Todd said all the comments teach you to get up and go to the bathroom, right? And then Wild Irish Fruit Punch. Wow. Yeah, 29 knows. 29 Ammo knows the Wild Irish Fruit Punch. Yeah, you think it tastes like Kool-Aid, but yeah, you would feel that later for sure. LOL, that'd be hilarious if he did that. I said, LOL. Let me see here. MD. I'll scroll up. Was my fave when I was broke. Erie said Mad Dog was her fave when she was broke. Alan said because you can afford it doesn't mean it's a favorite. My tree is barely standing after watching the Ohio State game last night. What's up, Arizona, my friend? Make sure you guys check out Arizona Timeless as well. Does some great videos from out there. He actually does some stuff with beer, but does some other things along those lines as well. So hit those 3 buttons next to his name and check out his channel. Hit that subscribe button. But Arizona brings you some nice videos from out there in Arizona as well. Hopefully you're having a warmer type winter. I don't know how cold it actually gets in Arizona, but I always appreciate you checking in, my friend. And yeah, Ohio State. What was up with that last night? Like the first half, they were just like non-existent, but second half they kind of put their foot in Wisconsin's ass, so to speak. So good for them, because they were had people nervous about who was going to get into the playoffs. I figure at this point you got Ohio State. I think LSU jumps Ohio State for the playoff stand. I think they go to 1 from 2. You got LSU, Ohio State, and then I think on that fourth one, which is real concerned because you know Clemson is going to be number 3, that you're going to have Oklahoma jump in. So Oklahoma will be probably that fourth one, and let the playoffs begin, my friend, and all the bowl games that'll come forward here now. Erie says, "Oh, when it's all you can afford, it becomes a favorite." Well, yeah, you got a point there. Cutie says, 2-liter Purple Passion review tomorrow. God, a Purple Passion. Man, that brings back some bad memories for sure. Alan said, Erie, for the same price, you could have gotten some E&J. Well, E&J could have been something. And then she said, I just switched to Gordon's vodka instead. Yeah. I thought Gordon's was always gin back in the day, but I guess they did vodka. Purple Passion, I remember that LL Todd said, yeah. I had some of the Purple Passion back then, so that does bring back a memory. And then Cutie says, Todd, he's laughing. And then thank you for standing. Thank you for standing by, folks. As Cutie says, give me a wrench rod. I'll let everything flow from the tap. Beer pun intended. I freeze my boons. Great slushy. Oh, I never thought about if you were to freeze like boons to make it a slushy. That would have been interesting. Rich said, I've had a few Bartles and James and Seagram's coolers for sure, but I was all about Heineken's back then. The ladies were drinking the coolers. Yeah, I would say the coolers back then were definitely more directed or marketed to the women versus the guys. But I remember those old Bartles and James commercials and stuff like that and everything. And once in a while, you'd have a Bartle and James as a guy as well. But I guess that's dating ourselves too, if we remember the Bartle and James coming out. Hey, what's happening? Violent by Design. Cheers, my friend. Another channel to definitely check out there as well. So you can give Violent a visit, hitting those 3 buttons next to the his name as well. And then Richie says, hey to Arizona. LSU probably wins the title. I agree. LSU is my team. I think they've been pretty much the number 1 team all year. I think LSU definitely looks to pull it out. But you can't count out Ohio State. Ohio State has a great squad. A Clemson, right? You got to be the champ. You got to beat the champ. I put LSU and Ohio State above Clemson this year, but you never know until they play on the field and to try to know what college kids are going to do. You just don't know. I mean, there's some games that we did on that Allen show, the collected beer that we were talking about Tuesday nights. We do the college football at 9:00. Predictions made and an antic by one college kid throws the whole game off, and it's like your whole thing is screwed up because now another team got another opportunity and they scored and blah, blah, blah. So, but I think LSU overall, definitely the top team of the year. Violence, are you sipping on some 2018 Goose Island? Got a couple bottles of that. Just cracked open a bottle of Jack Abbey's Framing Hammer PB. Oh my God, PB&J variant. That would be something awesome to taste. I've had some of the Jack Abbey's Framing Hammer, not that variant. Let me see which one I actually had from them. I would love to try that one though. I think it was the began with a C, but I can't remember what the name of it offhand. Jack's Abbey. I had the Jack Abbey's barrel aged Framing Hammer. And that shit was so freaking delicious. It was their Imperial Baltic Porter, 11.5% ABV. Definitely one I would recommend. And I heard a lot of good things about Jack's Abbeys before I had that one. But that PB&J would be definitely something of interest. Urkin Jerkin Army with a few friends. Best thing about Ohio State being second is they play right down the road at Cardinal Stadium. I will be. Oh, that's awesome that you're going to the game. That'll be a real good time. Rod, does Sam Adams still release their chocolate box? Those were so good and worth the money. I believe they still do release the chocolate box. Now, we actually added a tap room here in Cincinnati. Some of you aren't aware, Jim Cook is actually from Cincinnati area, so you put a tap room here. Most of the beer for Sam Adams is actually produced here in Cincinnati. A lot of people don't know that, but I believe they still have the box that they're still put out. Sam Adams is one of those breweries though that I don't really check out as much. I just feel like they've kind of sat back on what they've done. They don't really surprise me anymore on a lot of things. I have some people telling me try the old Fizzlewig and some other stuff, but they don't really jump out. And they did put Utopia on tap here for the first time recently, but I didn't get a chance to get down to the brewery to check it out. But as far as I know, they're still doing those because that chocolate box are pretty popular. Oh yeah, Baltic Porter is an underrated beer, I would think. So legit. I was looking on Untapped to see which one I had, and Baltic Porter. So of my friends that rated that 3.86, everyone said 4.01. I gave it a 4.5. I'm like, that is a really delicious beer to actually enjoy from what they've done there at Jack's Abbey. And it's kind of like, if you think this isn't a great beer, I mean, it's all in preference, right? For my palate, it's a great beer. Maybe for other ones, it's not. But I think it is underappreciated. Hey, Vanessa's back. Cheers. She said, hi, back home, got the text. Nice. So you drove and everything was good to go, so you're ready to roll at it. Sam Adams Chocolate Bock is in the winter variety pack. So you can get the chocolate Bock. I think in the winter pack, you get the chocolate Bock, the old Fizzlewig. Obviously, you get the Boston Lager because they put that in everything. It's like, seriously, do you have to put the Boston Lager in every variety pack? And if it's a variety pack, does it really need Boston Lager? Because that's not a variety, that's your everyday staple. At some point, maybe I should try that one at some point just to see how it actually tastes. But you know, we have a Bock Fest every March here in Cincinnati, and we get some great locally made Bock beers. 2018 or 2019 for Bourbon County. I am actually drinking a 2018 Elijah Craig barreled Bourbon County from last year that I ended up picking up at one of the spots here. $22 for a 32 ounce crowler. It was a great deal. Couldn't pass it up. Could not pass it up. And it was smooth. But since that point, I have now moved on to Lagunitas Dark Swan Sour Ale. If the light wants to tone down a little bit. And so Lagunitas has a nice little sour ale with this one here. So that's what I'm actually enjoying right now. Got a little bit of the Purple Rain going on. Purple Rain. Shout out to Prince. Broadbrook Porter is tasty. They moved the brewery 0.7 miles from the house. I can walk there. I don't know if I can handle a brewery within 0.7 miles of my house. I mean, that would be some fun times for sure. And then Richie says hello to Vanessa as well. And 29 says I like the Chocolate Bock too. Collecting the Boston Lager, Sam 76, and Winter Ale. So those are all in the pack. The Sam 76 is not one that I was a fan of. I thought that was not that all great of a beer from Sam Adams from Boston Beer Company. I thought it was okay, I guess, but it wasn't a great beer. It just didn't really do anything for me. I felt it was kind of a little bit lacking on that one. And my hometown where I grew up, Broadbrook, nice. And then Vanessa says hello to Richie. And Violet says just had some Lagunitas Imperial Stout, $3.99 for a bottle. Can't be right. So Violet, you're hitting on a point I made earlier. For the quality of the beer that you get for Lagunitas and the price you have to pay, it's hard to think of any other deal that matches up with them. Lagunitas is such a good value for what you pay. Todd says, "Stop it, Rod. You get deals." It's not just me. Other people get deals. I'm just in the right place at the right time. That's all. This Lagunitas Dark Swan, I got a 6-pack of this. I think it was like $5.99 when I picked it up. It just happens, you know. Right place, right time. I don't know. It's serendipitous. I'll be getting a Sam Adams variety pack to try that Bach again. There you go. You know, what do you think about the variety packs like 29? Are you thinking like, I feel like if you're going to do a variety pack, make it all variety. Don't put the Boston Lager and stuff in there. Put other stuff in there to make it a variety. Old Fesselwig is a great, in my opinion, but they should have barreled that one. I'm going to try that at some point. I just haven't done it yet, you know. Maybe I'll pick up a 12 and let my wife have the rest of them just to try that one. Oh, a new brewery is moving into Market downtown at 2 miles from my house. The breweries are popping up. We know we had a new Braxton brewery that was about 10 minutes from my house. So it's probably traffic slows you down and speed limits, but it's probably about 3 or 4 miles from my house. And I'm like, you're too close. I want to come up here all the time. It's not walking distance though. Not walking from there. Todd, he must have the beer man on his Christmas card list for the deals he gets. That's funny, Alan. Boston baked beans. I haven't had Boston baked beans in a while. We used to have a place called when I was at WVU. It was Gibby's, but they'd have Boston baked beans there. Well, I'm definitely done. Todd, don't encourage Alan. Don't encourage him. And Alan, don't encourage Todd. I just walk into opportunities. I can't help it. It's not my fault. It just happens. I'm just that guy that luckily falls into things at times. Hey, Richie, I appreciate that, brother. It's a great live. Thank you, brother. Hey, I appreciate you being here. Great having you here, my friend. So, hopefully you had a great weekend. You know, we start the week tomorrow. Hopefully I gave you a little bit of laughs here to relax and ease into Sunday night. I am not ready to go to work tomorrow. I can tell you that for sure. I'm all for a 4-day work week and a 3-day weekend, which some companies are pushing for now. At Broadbrook Brewery, you should be able to see the jets at airport landing. Is it pretty much a clear sight to the airport then, or? I'm gonna have a nice little buzz on by the time watching this starts tonight. I can tell you that. I was gonna make the cheesesteaks. I'm thinking at this point I may just make wings, because wings would be a lot easier, less grease flying. You know, when you're a little bit of a buzz, you don't want a lot of shit happening in the kitchen, you know what I mean? I'm thrilled just the one I got to listen to you way up through, man. Well, thank you, Vanessa. I mean, I hope you found it entertaining all the way up through there and was able to bring you a little bit of laughter and enjoyment. That's what it's all about. You know, it's one of the things, you know, people ask, you know, what is your favorite job you've ever done? Honestly, the favorite job I've ever had was probably being a radio DJ, which I didn't get any money for. I just loved the experience of being a radio DJ, being on the radio, making people laugh, kind of entertain, all that kind of stuff. It's just fun. I like it. I mean, I try to keep you guys entertained as much as I can and try to hope you guys enjoy and get through the weekend. Life is too much shit that we're dealing with out here now. So if I can bring a little bit of enjoyment to your guys' life, and at the point we'll talk about beer and enjoy some different beers, and if that helps, then I hope that all comes through nicely and we all have a blast together, because life is too short when you think about it. So let's enjoy it while we are definitely here. Oh, thanks, Richie. I appreciate that. So you give us all a smile, bro. Cheers, Rod. Cheers to you, my friend. And then let me see here. Oops. Hold on 1 second. My OBS kind of switched up on me and changed screens here. What the fuck is going on? What's going on here? Get back to where you belong, son. Todd said, I have to say, Alan, Rod did get me some Rod J deals, so I can't say. Yeah. So I got Todd some, when Todd was in, he had deals. He ended up picking up a Magnum of Golden Drop 9000 for like, I don't know, was it $3.99 or $4.99 or some crazy shit. I tried to get him other deals, but he didn't buy anymore, but he could have got some other deals. Almost, we were right next to Bradley International Airport. Well, then I need to make a trip, Alan said. And wings are easier. I agree. Wings are easier. Whoops. Hold on a second. Drop the mic. So I picked up like some, I don't know, Tyson hot fire type wings, whatever. Throw them in the microwave. I may just throw them in before I watch Watchmen. But you know what it is? It's funny because now I was going to make a cheesesteak hoagie. In my mind, I've got cheesesteak programmed, right? I want the cheesesteak. I want the onions. I want all that stuff, the provolone, blah, blah, blah. So I may actually still make the cheesesteak. I'm trying to maybe think about the wings, but the cheesesteak is like, you said cheesesteak. We want cheesesteak. So, I don't know. I got an hour to decide before Watchmen starts. He says, fuck the Patriots. Got no love for the Patriots. Did anybody say the Patriots earlier? Maybe I missed that. The stout you reviewed was making me thirsty. Yeah, the stout there, and I'm telling you, I may go back because 32 ounce, $22 for a 32 ounce crowler of that Elijah Craig Bourbon County Stout was on point. I may go back tomorrow and get another crowler of that. I'm just saying, it was pretty solid. Glad they got beat. So I guess the Patriots lost earlier. And my favorite job has several. Yeah, what is your favorite? What is all your guys' favorite jobs out there that you've ever had? What is the job you really like the most? Like I said, for me, being a radio DJ was probably my most favorite. I didn't even get paid for it. It was kind of like we were a volunteer station. I have FCC license, all that stuff, but it was part of the university. Wing sauce is habanero pineapple. Ooh, that sounds good. Habanero pineapple. I would definitely enjoy that. You're killing me, girl. Somebody here don't like wings. Not calling no names, Alan. You're killing me. Cheesesteaks are always amazing. I agree. And I was too sticky. Gets on my hands, causes panic attack, gets in the beard. Oh, you kill me. How can you not like wings? Wings are freaking awesome, son. $4.99 plus the deals at Braxton over the summer. Holy shit. Yeah. So, and Todd came up. Todd was up here. If you haven't seen the videos with me, Todd, Joe, and Eric all getting together with Joe's dad, Jack, there. And it wasn't even me that time. It was because they met J.O. at Party Source. Joe did the night before. He came into Braxton and told how Joe was a VIP of you. Anyway, we walked in and they were giving us deals on beer. Deals on beer at Braxton. And we enjoyed it. But it was so funny because our person would ring up the price and she would say, well, it's this amount or whatever. And at one point, like, Eric was with us and Todd, and they were like kind of stalled. Like, I think it was more Eric was like, do I? And I'm like, just shut up and pay her the money. It's less than what you thought it was going to be. So yeah, it's it's good deals, and that's good for everybody. My current job is my favorite, Erie, and he just says he's mental. My first and second job in the Air Force, working as raw materials inspector for the inventor of tea bag paper. Tea bag paper, interesting. Yeah. And Todd says, Alan, how do you not like wings? And Richie said, I've only had literally 2 jobs and about to retire in a year or two. So after 22 years, LOL, I'll be doing Texas Hold'em after. Texas Hold'em would be a nice little retirement career. Just sit there and play cards would be nice as well. Um, yeah, I mean, if I said like my favorite, like I said, it was a radio DJ. And then after that, I mean, most of my professional career has actually been in sales, which has been good. But being a radio DJ was a fun thing. At one point in college, I was ad sales, but I also ran the university paper as a business manager, which was a nice thing. Then after that, I was mostly direct sales or kind of wholesales, working with financial advisors and stuff. So I've had a decent amount of different jobs, but I don't know. It was the fun of being a DJ, and we did the radio, and then we did DJ parties and stuff like that afterwards. But being on the radio, it was kind of a weird type thing, kind of having that much fun, and you're playing different music of the artist, but you're also interacting with a lot of people, and it was always kind of that shell shock type thing when people would tell you they appreciated you being on the radio type stuff afterwards. Like you always think you do your show and you're like, oh, you're doing this and that. I don't know how many people are listening, blah, blah, blah. And they would come up afterwards and you meet people that said they listen to your show, which was always, like the first time I had someone tell me they were recording my show, like, because we would do live DJ mixing and they were recording the mixes I was doing on air. That was crazy. That was just full blown crazy because to me, it's like when I was a kid, when I was younger, I used to listen to radio shows and I would record them on the boombox with the cassette tape or whatever. And the idea that people were actually recording me just kind of blew my mind. That they recorded the stuff that I was doing on the radio. It was just a freaky type thing. Alan said, I hate sticky sauces from everything but ribs on my hands and face. Weird, I know stickiness on my hands will cause a panic attack. And Avery says again, he's just crazy. And then Todd said, tea bag paper? Sorry, that sounded funny. Alan said, my favorite job is staying at home. Well, it's funny, Alan, you talk about the fingers. So, like here, I do a lot of the cooking and when we eat and stuff like that. It's kind of weird. I enjoy cooking, but I do hate things on my hands, so I'm always cooking and washing my hand, which you should wash your hands if you're cooking, right? But it's kind of like if I was a chef in a restaurant, it's just weird. It's kind of like I don't like sticky stuff on my hands as well, so I got you there, brother. Vanessa said, military, teacher of math nowadays, several other jobs. Erie says, I've been a store manager. Did like it until I had a gun to my head. It was over that shit in a hot minute. Love the money though. Wow. Yeah, I bet you were. That's crazy. I'm like, somebody puts a gun in your head. I'm like, it ain't even my store. Whatever you want, take it. I don't care. It's not my store. Just take what you want. Rich said, I'm 53 and ready for some relaxed time. LOL. I hear you there, brother. I'm 50 and I'm looking forward to it at some point. Vanessa said, retired my first time in 1996. Todd said, I have yet to find a job I actually like. Richie and Vanessa does the praying emoji. Vanessa said, Dexter Corp here in town invented the tea bag paper process in the early 30s. So, well, you want to try to find a job that you can actually enjoy because it is your job and you got to do it. Like I enjoy the job I do now. Working in sales and working with the advisors I work with and all kind of stuff. Is it a dream job? No. I mean, we talked earlier. Maybe the owning of a bar or a beer store or bottle shop might be the dream job for me at some point. I always said, no, you know what it is? I always said the dream job right now where I'm at in my life you watch the Food Network or the Travel Network, right? And you have Guy Fieri, and you have these guys that travel around doing food. If someone were to come from a network and offer me a job to go and travel to breweries and review the beers and talk to the people there and learn and be able to educate them for the channel and for the show, that would be my dream job. If they were to say, hey, Rob, we want you to go cross country, visit these breweries, sit down with them, find out about their beers, find out what you like about them, share it on the network, that would be my dream. I'd be like, no problem. I'd take that job in a heartbeat. That would be the dream job for me, being able to do. I would be the Guy Fieri of craft beer, just traveling around, drinking and talking beer. That would be the dream job that I would love to have. Hey, networks, if you're watching, call me, son. So that'd be the one that I'd be into. Vanessa turned 58 a week ago. Yes, it's a happy birthday to Vanessa. Vanessa did explosives in military first and health inspector second. Again, Vanessa does so much that we have not even thought about doing. It's just incredible. Richie's Todd, just go with your heart goes, bro. Yeah, you gotta do that so that you're actually involved in it. Todd said, sorry, Vanessa, I thought Richie was saying he retired at 53. Yeah, so Vanessa, I cheated in an early retirement in the military at 29. I think it was, yeah. Well, that's not really cheating. If you get early retirement, get your early retirement, you know. But, yeah, I would love to have the deal, like, you know, it's kind of like, it's sad, you know, what happened to Anthony Bourdain, you know, killing himself or like that. But to have a job like that, you know, we want you to go around the world and talk to people and talk about the food they're eating or the beers they're drinking and stuff like that. I'd be like, that would be the dream job for me. Being in different areas and being able to learn about that. I say, hey, we want you to fly over to Germany, talk to people about the beers. We want you to fly to freaking Poland, talk about people about beers. We want you to go to, you know, Arkansas, talk about people. I wouldn't even care. I'd be like, that would be so fucking awesome of a job to go out and be able to do that. So, which is kind of funny if you ever know the story of Anthony Bourdain. So the way that he actually became more famous was, and he had noted this before previously, he was like reading an article about some restaurant or whatever in New York, and he actually responded back to them through an email about their restaurant or article or something he saw and kind of hammered on them. And they said, hey, you want a job to come, blah, blah, blah. And he kind of lost his career and stuff. So, you know, you see an opportunity, take it, reach out for it for sure. Let me see here. Richie says, to Vanessa, what branch were you in? He's in the Air Force family. And Avery said, I'm going to school for accounting. I want to do taxes. Really? You want to do taxes? I just never seen people that really want to, because that's a lot of paperwork and stuff like that. But if you go to school for accounting, you want to do taxes, Erie, let me know, because there's certain financial firms I work with that the advisors are big in doing a lot of tax stuff. So if you end up going to school when you do that and you want to be an advisor, let me know. I'd be more than happy to get you connected there. Vanessa did Air Force 80 to 96, retired, permanently disabled, retirement list 1996, got broken, and they stick you out the door. That sucks. Todd said his cousin retired from the Navy at 38. Now he works for Homeland Security. Yeah. The one thing, people definitely retire from the military. We do need more stuff, which I think kind of seems to be happening now, but I'm not fully sure. But for people to retire from the services, there should be more stuff done on the home front. But that's two of my sisters, USN and Air Force. And Richie says to Vanessa, what in the Air Force? My dad was, but I hope it's okay for you. I hope it was, my dad was, but I hope all was okay for you. Or it wasn't okay, but I hope it was okay for you. I got you. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, when I was in high school, they wanted to recruit to the Air Force and the Naval Academy, me and my buddy. But it was kind of like, there were some weird things around it, or thought. But plus in the Air Force, because I have contacts in, I'm just got my readers on right now. But I do wear glasses usually, and it was like with glasses back then, you couldn't be an Air Force pilot. And it's like, well, I don't want to go to Air Force. I can't be a pilot. But I've always felt like there should be more done for the military than what is actually done at this point when people come off. But that's a whole different topic. I'm not gonna get into all of that. I don't know if one thing is for sure is tax that figures a safe job. Well, death and taxes, two things you never get out of. So I agree. Erie, my sister-in-law is an accountant and did taxes. She works all the time. Yeah. And Rod, this is an extreme question, but what is your all-time favorite brew? Oh, that is an extreme question. And Vanessa, U.S. Air Force was fun. Got to visit almost all remote duty stations in Arctic. All-time favorite brew. That is a tough question. So, things change relatively easily in the beer world because of all the different beers that come out. I will say, at one point, for the longest amount of time, the Golden Draught 9000 was my favorite beer. There's other beers that have come up since then. Each year, and I look back at what I usually get, right? So, like, each year, Mad Tree here in Cincinnati has their Galaxy High, which is a double IPA. I get their beer usually. That became like a favorite. But I mean, overall, the Golden Draught, Chimay is up there as well as being the top brew. I'm so Belgian favored. Some of the Duvel, it's just, I love the Belgian ales. I mean, it's almost like easier for me to say the Belgian style of beers are my favorite along those lines, but things just change. They just change so much. I rarely ever give like a 5 when I do my Untapped. Golden Draught 9000 was one of the ones up there. Galaxy High was one of the ones up there. Those are two of my favorites. But there's some other ones that are really good too. So, I don't know. I feel like it's tough. It's just so many beers that are out there to enjoy. Erie says she's doing classes now, about to take a break, demanding with work and my new job. Now kind of deals with bookkeeping. Well, sure, you got the kids too, Erie. So the kids, I'm sure, take up amount of time too. So you're definitely being stretched. She said, thanks, Rod. Yeah. I don't know. Not everybody loves Belgian ales, I guess, but I feel like you never go wrong when you like a Belgian ale. Belgian ales are always so freaking good. Whether it's a double, a triple, a quad. Freaking Belgium has the beers down. It's like you're never disappointed for the most part when you have a Belgian. Like I said earlier, I could have a Stella Artois and still be okay with it. It's a nice Belgian lager. It's just, we go to visit on vacations. I told my wife before, like Belgium is probably the last place we should probably go visit on a vacation because I may not come back because the beer is so good there on what they do. I may just I'm going to stay here and be a monk because they make so much good beers. Erie's, no. Vanessa said, very nice, Erie. My degrees are math and computer science. And Richie said, I love those triple abbeys. Yeah, exactly, right? And Alan, LOL, Erie says. That's funny, Erie. And Vanessa, I just finished my master's in math at age 56 in 2017. Those triple abbeys are up there. Yeah, definitely. Hell yeah, Vanessa. Awesome. I love math as well. I was kind of debating that myself. I was kind of thought, like we were talking in work the other day, it's like, I never finished my master's. I left early because I wanted to go actually work because I got tired. I went from undergrad right into the master's program. My mom was like, don't leave because you won't come back, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I'll be back. And I didn't go back anyway. But now I was like, do I go back and try to finish? Or I've had thoughts of maybe going to like law school. My wife, she's an attorney as well. She's like, you would do well in law school if you wanted to go there based on some of the stuff. But it's like, is it worth it to go back and get these other degrees? I look at society nowadays with some of the stuff happening. It's like people drive themselves more and more in debt for the cost of the degrees that they can actually get out of. And I just don't know. It's like, I don't know. I feel like there's a defeatist part of me that's like, is it really worth it to do that? The optimist side of me says, yeah, it would be good to do that, but the defeatist side is like, do you really want to do that? So it's kind of interesting. I'm kind of in a flux right now because I could go back and I could do well, I'm sure. And there are certain programs that are out there that are favorable to go back, especially when you hit like 50 or whatever. So just haven't decided yet. Hell yeah, Vanessa. That's awesome. I love Matt. Triple. I want to try Delirium. I like the name. Vanessa, if you never had Delirium, I would definitely say try Delirium. They have the blue and they have the red. Both of them are very solid. I think one's a double, one's a triple. But just delicious beers. I would definitely say try Delirium if you've not had them as of yet. Math is life, right? Yeah, math is life until they do the new Common Core type stuff. Like, math is like you do this, this times this equals this, right? Well, they do Common Core, and it's like, well, you do this, and this, and it's this now. What? Like, the math should be a certain way. Like, math shouldn't change. But you can do math under the old system and the new system and end up with different numbers. That is not right. I might do one more master's degree. Thanks for live stream, brother. There's so much fun. Cheers. Well, thank you, Richie. I appreciate that. It's good to hear that, and glad you enjoyed yourself. And hopefully you have a great Sunday night tonight, my friend. And I say it's always worth it. I agree. It's hard to say it's not worth it to actually do that to better yourself. It's just, you look at how many people are getting knocked under with the cost of going to school nowadays. It's crazy. But I do agree that it does make you a better person overall. Shannon says that I missed my calling of an attorney. I argue with her about that. Well, that's funny that you argue about that with her. It's, I see some attorneys, and I know some of the attorneys that are out there around, that I have friends that are attorneys, and I don't know, if you like to debate and you like that kind of, I just feel like that might have been an opportunity there. Common Core is BS, LOL, right? I don't understand why we needed to. Well, I'm sorry. I know why they were trying to do the Common Core, because they're trying to train people to look at numbers differently as it comes to like algorithms and computer science and all that kind of stuff. But at the same point, the old math wasn't wrong. So it's kind of like, why do we need the Common Core? A cool proof and teaching method was published by the Quadratic Formula this past week. Interesting. I don't know. I guess I look at that Common Core stuff and I'm like, why is this needed again? It's like, actually just a framework. Right. It's a framework for how you process things, right, Vanessa, I believe. So they want you to look at processing things a certain way, which supposedly is supposed to help when you go forward and working with computers and algorithms and all this kind of stuff. But at the same point, I feel like the old math way wasn't wrong either. I don't know if we're actually getting smarter using Common Core or kind of just dumbing down other people to a certain level where people understand for Common Core. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like the old math method worked when everybody could keep up. But by Common Core, we're kind of dumbing some things down so everybody can keep up. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Common Core. I'll say I'm not a big fan of it. Or his teacher made us sing the quadratic formula in the tune, "The Pop Goes the Weasel." Our high school teacher. That's pretty funny. But memory stuff like that does work. The proof is rediscovered from the Babylonians. All right. It's all a matter of what works, I guess, along those lines. But I don't know. Common Core is just like, I just don't know what's wrong with the old math that we used to have. But that's just me. And I used to love math when I was a kid. I mean, I used to love doing the math stuff. And back then when we do the tests, SAT and all that kind of stuff, I mean, math was my stronger suit. So math was always the thing I favored. I actually started college to be a teacher, but my idiot guidance counselor took me out of it. I could kill them now. You'd have been a good teacher, Todd. You can always be a teacher still. Teacher is one of the most underrated professions out there, if not the underrated profession. My wife actually mentioned to me about trying to be a teacher at points, like going back to do that. Much respect for a lot of teachers out there doing what they're doing. Our OK methods are fine. Common Core is just a structure to move people through the grade levels. I still teach methods I learned. Yeah, I think Common Core is more of that standardized type approach to get people moved through for sure. Now for some, if the wacky things teachers try under Common Core, LOL. They do try some different stuff under it for sure. I just find it funny, like how they do the Common Core stuff, and it's kind of like, well, so and so should be this, and it's like, no, it's actually this. Like, what? Oh no. Sometimes I wonder about the world and where we're headed, just on some of the different stuff here. Come teach math, high school through college. I think teaching would be a fun thing. It's funny, I put an article on my Facebook page earlier about how teachers are, how to put it, kind of in a bad position right now. Like, there were so many threats and violence against teachers. Like, why would you want to be a teacher now? I mean, to be a teacher is love, to want to educate and provide stuff for your students, right? But there's so much hassles they have to deal with now. It's kind of crazy, like, what they go through. It's like teachers should have that respect of the classroom. But I don't know if all the parents are teaching their kids that kind of had that idea going. I mean, it was different when I was a kid. I mean, when I was a kid, you went to school, you didn't act up in front of a teacher. You went in and you did whatever a teacher was supposed to do or whatever, barring anything outside the curriculum. But you kind of knew if you screwed up, your parents would be there to kick that ass if you did so. So you kind of didn't act up. But nowadays, I don't know. Maybe it's a different time. I see some of the videos of some of the shit teachers have to do, and I'd be like, I couldn't be a teacher. I'd have to choke a kid. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you on some stuff? I would say choke a kid, but maybe shake a kid. But it's just like, some kids just aren't giving respect to some of the teachers like they should be given. And then parents come in like their kids are all angels. And it's like, your kid isn't an angel. Your kid was in here screwing up, doing blah, blah, blah. That would drive me crazy. I wanted to try also to coach baseball as well as teach. Yeah. Proponent of arming all teachers, stop the belief in safe zones. Well, the problem you have with arming all teachers is that not all teachers do well with arming themselves. We've already had a couple incidents in the past where teachers mistakenly had their gun go off and shoot kids or whatever. So it's kind of like, I wouldn't be for all of them arming the kids that way. But I see what you're saying on your point. As far as protection for a teacher, something has to be done. I don't know what that balance would be, but some people definitely can't handle guns. So I'd be nervous about giving anybody that type of situation. We have teens, I don't know, I couldn't be with the kids like that. Yeah, right, Erie? Because I'd be ready to strangle one of them at some point, and I say that jokingly, but what do you do? Like, some of these kids are such badasses. You're like, why should you have to put up with it and deal with it when these kids are acting a fool or so? We just had an incident just happened now. I guess a resource officer got shot by one of the kids in one of the schools. That came out like yesterday or today. That I saw the news on a little blip that came across. So it's kind of like, I don't know how you handle it. I don't know what's going on there, but the respect has to be done at some point. One of my back in the day, one of my old clients, she was a teacher, and she had gotten a thing where they wanted her to be on one of the list to stay back in case a shooting incident happened at the school. And she's like, I'm not here for the shooting incidents or whatever. And they're like, yeah, but we need teachers to volunteer to stay back. She ended up quitting. She's like, I'm not going to sit here and sign a paper saying I'm going to be here in case something happens like that. And she quit and found a new occupation. But it's crazy out there for some of the schools. I'm the ones who know what they're doing. I even carry outside my job, so I need to. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely do the trade. Like, if you put the teachers through the proper training to make sure they're good to go, I can definitely see that along those lines. Making sure they're up to speed, make sure they know how to handle it. It's the ones that may not. But then again, if you have the teachers armed and something happens and the police come in, they may not know who the shooter actually is. Now, you can say what you think of a teacher wouldn't be the shooter, but you wouldn't know because adults shoot up workplaces and stuff too. So it's a matter of who's good or who's bad. Or what if it's more than one kid and one of the other kids were to get the guns to that teacher? There's different things happening along those lines on what you can actually allow to happen. That's the concern. I think it starts out from a good place, but it's a matter of where it ends up. But you would think at this point, I don't know why all schools don't have metal detectors at this point. Certain schools have metal detectors, some don't. It's like, if you're concerned about it, and some schools don't want to have it because of the appearance, or I guess. But at this point, just give all schools metal detectors. Got to run. All right, cheers, Todd. Thanks, brother. I'll talk to you later as well. Yeah, I'm about to end here in a little bit anyways. I think I'm going to have to make the cheesesteaks. I'm thinking the cheesesteaks are calling my name. Cheers, Rod. Keep being yourself and enjoy what you do. Thanks, brother. I appreciate that, Richie. Appreciate that. And glad you guys had a good time tonight. Just kicking back and enjoy having you guys all in and talking about the various things here. As I knock out this Lagunitas Dark Swan now. I think this one like 7.9 ABV. Yeah, 7.9. Ooh, eerie. That sounds good. Jalapeno poppers. I do like jalapeno poppers. Vanessa, Boston schools had metal detectors in the 70s. Yeah, so they had it in the 70s, and some of the other schools had them back then. A lot of the city type schools, but there are some schools that don't have them, and I'm thinking they should have them as well. Jalapeno poppers really sounds good. So what do you have with the jalapeno poppers, Erie? Do you make like a press? And I'm like, no, I want like a jelly type feel. Richie, cheers, everybody. Cheers, Richie. Thanks, brother. I can't believe it's 8:17 in the East Coast right now. I don't know why I get into American Pickers, but I just enjoy it. I used to go to estate sales back in the day and pick up stuff and resell it, and I think that's why I'm kind of pulled into American Pickers. I need to go back and start doing some estate sale type stuff. You can find some really cool things that people forgot. I found one time an autographed picture from Yogi Berra at a place. It was in their closet or whatever. They didn't know they had it. It was an autographed Yogi Berra photo that I actually sold online on eBay. I found an old book one time in an estate sale for like $5. It sold it for $200 on eBay for a guy in Australia that wanted to get a copy of the first printing of it. Estate sales could be a nice little fun find. Alan was over the hot stuff, but still ate them. But Alan likes hot stuff, right? So Alan, he did the hot chocolate bar and stuff. He likes hot stuff, I thought. I'm going to make these cheesesteaks. I think I'm going to put a little sriracha on them as well. I love spicy food, so I'll put a little sriracha on them, some red chili pepper. I'll do a few different things to spice it up a little bit. My wife is like, whenever I make stuff, she's like, I can smell the heat coming off of that. Which reminds me, I still need to do the hot chocolate bar at some point. I haven't done it yet. Alan and Blake both did the hot chocolate bar, so I need to pick that up. And I kind of want to do the hot chip, the world's hottest chip challenge. I probably shouldn't do the world's hottest chip challenge, but I kind of want to do that. LML, after all that stuff, nah, he's good. Well, Al was a trooper. That's where he came out all right. Alan don't quit. He'll knock it out. But I think right now, I appreciate everybody that tuned in tonight. I think I'm going to go ahead and get this wound down and go make these cheesesteaks so I can watch Watchmen in a little bit. And, malt vinegar. Girl. Malt vinegar is actually good on them. Although, to make an actual cheesesteak, because I grew up outside Philly, right? So, you'd have the steak, you'd have the onions, you'd have the peppers. Up there, they use like the Cheese Whiz type cheese. So, like almost like a Cheese Whiz type thing. I'm using provolone, which a lot of places substitute provolone. Put them in a nice hoagie roll tonight so I can actually enjoy them. But I kind of wish I had the old Cheese Whiz from back in the day. But I do like a good cheesesteak for sure. I'm going to actually enjoy that while watching Watchmen. And then, Area, if you're going to be on Alan's stream here in a little bit, I'm going to try to catch up like at 10 after the show goes off. Let me know. Because I haven't been on a live stream with you, so I wonder if you're going to be on a live stream when you're over there. So Alan will have this Sunday fun day at 9 o'clock for everybody watching. If you haven't subscribed to the Eclectic Beard, make sure you subscribe. Hit the 3 dots after his name so you can go to the channel and subscribe. They'll be starting out here at 9 o'clock Eastern. After I come back from Watchmen, I'm going to try to jump on that as well, if they're still going, and see what's going on. But always a fun time for sure. LMAO, they are doing that one, or supposedly we shall see. Well, if you're on there, I would love to meet you on there as well, too. So, to get you on there. But I might have a stream one day. I don't know when it will be. But Erie, I'm going to have a stream one day where it might be you and Shannon, just to have you two get together and give you two the floor. Because I bet you guys would have a good amount of stuff to say, and I'm sure it'll be entertaining as well. You and Shannon together will be freaking awesome. I'm sure Todd and Alan will be ducking out of it because they're like, oh my God, what are they saying? I'm debating if already fighting kids now. Shall see how that goes. Your kids are active for sure. Being on the streams with Alan sometimes, you can just tell he's like watching, like, what are you doing right now? Like, if you're one of your kids or something taking place. So he's like, I'll be right back. So, but, kids are being kids, so to speak. So, watching a Red Robin commercial right now, and that looks so good. I haven't been to Red Robin in a while. But the idea of bottomless fries sounds so good right now. Eat all the fries you want to eat. Kind of like Red Robin. Did watch the other night. I like her. She's funny as shit. I like. Yeah, Shannon is awesome. You know, it's funny because I tell Todd and everybody else that watches, kind of like when Shannon comes on, it's kind of like at that point it's Shannon's show, and I joke saying, you know, it's Shannon and the Pips at that point. You know, Shannon leads and we just follow. So it's always great. I love having her on. She brings a nice flow of personality to the channel. So she doesn't always get to get on every Thursday night, but when she does, we love having her on there. Alan Crash. What is Alan crashing for? He has Sunday Fun Day. What the hell? He better get up at 9 o'clock. He said he was doing the show tonight. Alan's becoming an old man. What is going on? You want to go in their area and drop the elbow for the top rope and say, that's from Rod saying, get up. You got a show to do. He's getting like Brandon over in Craft Beer Pours, crashing out early for the night. Well, let me go ahead and get this wrapped up. Thanks for everybody that actually joined tonight, and always appreciate you. Great time. Talked about the beers earlier. I'm going to go ahead and get this all fixed. If you are still watching, 9 o'clock, too much Sunday Fun Day, right? 9 o'clock, if Erie wakes up Alan, the Eclectic Beer Channel, they'll have Sunday Fun Day. I'll probably join there after 10 if they're still going. So I gotta watch my Watchmen. That's my favorite show of the year right now, watching Watchmen. And hopefully if you join, we'll see you there. I'm a smother. That's funny, Erie. Hopefully I'll end up joining over there, and then if you guys haven't been on Alan's channel, The Eclectic Beer, check it out. It's always a fun time. It's always a blast. I'm sure Blake will probably pop up. You know, maybe Jeremy will be over there, a few of the other guys. So, Eclectic Beer, 9 o'clock Eastern. I'm going to sign off here. I'll be back tomorrow with another live stream on something, I'm sure. So make sure you hit the alarm bell on this channel so you know when I'm actually live. And I look forward to catching up with you guys soon. Keep drinking those good craft beers. Remember, there's always time. Get your beer on.